Okay, here we are again. I made some adjustments to the audio because yesterday's audio was really bad. Like I don't know if it was just I changed where the microphone was or if I accidentally moved the gain or something like that, but it was ear-piercingly loud at certain points when I was just shouting into the microphone, and it should not be that loud. I think it might have been like I was a little like maybe there were certain points where I was being less loud earlier or something like that in the stream. Oh, I didn't turn the controller on, and because I was being less loud, it wasn't catching my voice when I was like in the middle of a bunch of action where a lot of combat music and everything else was going on. So I don't know. I think it's possible that might have affected it, but I made some adjustments today. I turned the gain down just a little bit on the microphone. I turned the volume down just a little bit on the microphone just to make sure, and we'll see how it sounds. Excuse me. If I have to, I'll move it back up again, but I don't think it'll be that bad. It looks like the levels are... It's in the yellow, basically, consistently on the audio mixer over there that I can see, but it's not like jumping directly into the gain portion where it's like red, which is what we don't want, obviously. So we shall see if it works out okay or not, because we've got one more stream before the end of this 3-stream session at the end of this weekend, and it's working out so far. I did my shopping today for the week, and I did my homework that I need to have done. Well, one of them I don't need to have done until next Friday, but I wanted to do it now because it was based on a lab I did yesterday, and the further away you get from it, obviously, the more you don't remember what you were doing. So I wanted to get it done while it was still relatively fresh in my head. I did. So I'm ahead of my work, well, on top of my work, and on top of the IRL stuff. So since that's the case, this stream schedule so far has worked out. We'll see how it works in the long term, but for the short term, first impression's good. First impression of this place was not good, though. Callous and calculating, the Fal'Cie manipulate their human tools via their emotions. Taking Sarah's form to catch the l'Cie off balance, Bartandalus predicts the imminent destruction of Cocoon. He has revived Reigns, now a compliant puppet, and instated him as the Sanctum's new Primarch, a ploy designed to provoke the cavalry revolutionaries into overthrowing the government and outrage at their former leader's betrayal. The gloating Fal'Cie also means to play on the pulse phobia of the populace, turn neighbor against neighbor, transforming Cocoon streets into a bloodbath. Worse, Bartandalus then describes how the cavalry, unnoticed amidst the chaos, will infiltrate Eden and fall upon Orphan, not understand their actions will... Okay, just cut me the fuck off then. Anyway, we have to go back to Cocoon. But before we go back to Cocoon, we have an opportunity to wrap up any additional side quests that we may want to do here on Pulse. At this point in the game, you can access all 64 of the Seath Stone missions. Now, they won't all be active right now. Some of them require you to actually, do other Seath Stone missions to unlock them. Mission 64 comes to mind because you have to beat all the other Undying in order to do the final Seath Stone mission with an Undying. But there's also opportunities to explore places like this. And lordy, let me tell you, if I see any zombies in this goddamn cave full of occult rituals, there will be some serious Zodiark PTSD going on. How you doing, everybody? Welcome back to Final Fantasy XIII, the stream edition. It looks like the Yakshinis and Yakshas from Tajin's Tower have taken over in this cave. But last time we took care of Bartandalus, we actually looked at the data log for my first time ever really reading it in depth. I think I might have viewed it once or twice on previous playthroughs in the first chapter or two, and then I just never looked at it again. But we went through it in depth. I talked about the questions that I have and the questions that I still have at this point in the game that the data log answered a couple of them, I think. Not many, to be fair. But I honestly, that was an expectation. The data log seems, like I said last time, to serve more of a purpose of allowing you to refresh yourself if you haven't played the game in several days, rather than as a form of supplemental material to answer any questions that you might have about things that are happening in the game world. I have thoughts about that, But we'll save those for a different time. Although, actually, I do want to see if there's an entry. I didn't think about this previously, but there might be an entry now on the Makers, now that we heard about Lindsay. Is it in Ragnarok? No, but holy spoiler screenshot, Batman. I mean, obviously you're not going to know what that spoiler screenshot is at any point in time here, right now, until we get to the end of the game, but anyway. I suppose we've been looking at a spoiler for the whole game, though, haven't we? If you know, you know, but if you don't worry about it. I guess the NLX might be what I'm looking for. I mean, we've got 1, 2, 4, 5, 7, and 12 at the moment. Maybe these will update as we go. Although at this point, I feel like all the supplemental stuff that's in here that's not just like chapter summaries should probably already be in here. Like if you're adding this stuff all the way to the end game, that's iffy to me. So I guess we can take a look at this. These analects, I guess, are stories / poems that they tell. So I guess we can read through these real quick before we explore the cave. This is the Vanished Gods. Luminous lamented, for creation spiraled unto doom. Stout fashioned earth, that future might take root. Sage turned mind's eye inward, seeking truth profound. Fool desired naught, and soon was made one with it. Maker forged foul sea, from fragments Maker's own. Maker forged man, from traces once divine. In time the gods departed, leaving all by their hands wrought. Foul sea were as men forsaken, orphans of Maker absconded. I get the feeling these Analects are not really going to answer my questions about these things because they're going to be specifically obtuse about them. And I'm not sure if I want to read about this sort of stuff. I may as well just tell you what all this is. So there's like several gods described here, but the Maker is the main one that's really important there. The Maker is XIII. And there are 3 main gods in the world of the Final Fantasy XIII universe, at least according to what I know. I think there's a 4th one that's like in Lightning Returns as well, but he's not mentioned at all in this as far as I'm aware. Maybe he's in one of the Analects. I guess I can take a look. But the Maker's the main one, that's XIII. She created the Foul Sea and human beings, according to what we have here. Although, I wonder, because there's Pulse, who created Grand Pulse. There's Lindsay, who created Cocoon. And then there's XIII. And the impression that I always got was that the Pulse Foul Sea were created by Pulse. So maybe the Maker is several gods, right? Maybe Maker refers to all 3 of them. And Pulse made the Pulse Foul Sea. And Lindsay made the Cocoon Foul Sea. And XIII, instead of making Foul Sea, created humans. And that was what they did, and then they all left. The impression that I always got, though, was that they didn't all leave at the same time. XIII left first to oversee the realm of the dead, if I remember correctly. Because that's the gate that Bartandalus wants to throw wide open, is the realm of the dead. He's offering all these souls to the realm of the dead so that XIII can like open the door and be like, all right, what's with this flood? Why do I have so much paperwork all of a sudden on my desk? And the impression that I always got was that Pulse, not Grand Pulse, that's the planet that Pulse created, Pulse and Lindsay left after XIII left in order to follow her in some way. Although Lindsay, according to this, is a viper that brought men and twisted their wills away from Pulse onto Cocoon. So that's cool, but you got to remember, too, these Analects were written by Pulsians, so it's going to sound like propaganda for Pulse. So, and then there's also this talking about the providence of XIII as well. We've got that kind of in there. And it does give me one little thing that I'd like to talk about while we're exploring the cave today, but we've got, I guess I can read this one. Ragnarok took wing made to smite Cocoon and thereby deliver us, and by us, CRS Padra Insu Yule, Padra Suyul, something like that, which would explain what the Padrian Archaeopolis is from. So maybe this is Padra Suyul, says this stuff. But this is supposed to deliver Pulse their providence. But the seer says her providence would not let it be. The goddess pitied the fools who so blindly bowed to Lindsay's will, and so she robbed Ragnarok of her power, putting the Lassie to an early crystal sleep, focus yet incomplete. And that's fine, I guess, that the Etro pities the people of Cocoon. But by sapping Ragnarok of its power, isn't she dooming them to 400 more years of suffering under the Foul Sea? Like, I understand why she did it, because the impression I get based on the characters in our party in this game are... Okay, this isn't really talking about anything that I care about anymore, so we're just gonna... Oh, wait, hang on, there was one. Never mind, hold on, let me go back. The Door of Souls. This... Oh, that's the wrong one. Hallowed Pulse. This one talks about Etro's Gate, if I remember correctly. So we'll look at this in a second. But Etro is kind of... The rest of the series kind of gives Etro this impression of, like, a benevolent god. But I don't really see her as benevolent, if that's what she's going to do. Like, she's trying to make sure that the people of Pulse and Cocoon aren't fighting and killing each other by robbing Ragnarok of its power, because Ragnarok was going to be used to destroy Cocoon out of spite previously. And Etro said, no, that can't be. Y'all gotta work together. This is the only world that you have, and the gods aren't coming back to make you a new one if you fuck this up. But I still can't get over the fact that it feels like she prolonged the suffering of millions of her own creations. Why would you do that to them? I guess to teach them a lesson, but it doesn't really make her out as very benevolent now, does it? Anyway, I'll just read the Door of Souls section, and then I think that's about it for the data log for the rest of this thing. There's probably more Analects that'll unlock, but I do want to talk a little bit about these because it gives us a little bit of information about what Bartandalus is trying to open. So let's see. The Door of Souls. When our earthly vessels meet their end, the souls they house must leave this world. Would the path of their migration not be the same one taken by our departed gods? Must they not pass through the same doorway the divine employed to reach that place that lies beyond? If this is the case, it stands to reason that should a great many lives at once be cut short, a flood of souls would surge through the aforementioned portal. The door would be thrown wide, and perhaps we might even glimpse the gleaming light of divinity beyond. And this is written on the nature of Foul Sea, but it's most likely written by Bartandalus himself. He wants nothing more than for this door to be flung open, and for the maker or makers to be shown again to the world. Now, my question is why? Because I just looked in Bartandalus's whole spiel there, and I'm not really seeing anything that very explicitly says he wants the makers back because X. And as far as I'm aware, they don't ever explain why he wants the makers back. The Foul Sea, I mean, I guess they missed their makers? Seems like a kind of a limp dick reason to have this whole playthrough play out. Yeah, not what I wanted to see either, Hope. I think you just said that at the end of the last stream. But, yeah, I don't know. It just seems like... It's like, okay, cool, you want your makers back. I can understand that. I mean, you probably missed them. It's been a while. Why do you want them back? What purpose could they serve in the world when they very explicitly left this place for you to figure it out? Like, they left you here and said, no, you guys have got this. We made you. You'll be fine. So what purpose does it serve to have them back? That's the question that I have. Why does Bartandalus think that them coming back is a net positive? To the point where he can sacrifice millions of lives that he feels like aren't worth it to begin with in order to bring them back? That's a question that I have. I would like to know the answer. I feel like it would make the world feel more whole that way, you know what I mean? And again, this is why we went into the data log so in depth last time and I asked all the questions. It's not because I'm trying to, again, I want to make sure I'm clear on this. It's not because I'm trying to rail against the game. It's because answering the questions that I have, I feel like would make the world feel more immersive and it would allow me to get more into the game. But by not answering those questions, the game leaves a lot of its details underneath the surface and only skims the surface level of what it could do. It's leaving potential on the table, and that's hurting the game in my eyes. So it could be more than it is. I'd like it to be more than it is. But if it leaves details on the table and only goes at the surface level and says, no, don't question this, just keep going, it's like, yeah, I can buy that for a little while, Final Fantasy XIII, because, you know, we're fugitives on the run from the law. We don't really have time to question the lore when we're running from the law, but now we do, and if you don't have answers at that point, what have I been prolonging my suspension of disbelief for, you know? That's the question that I have, I guess. So, in any case, the mark that we're actually, Final Fantasy XII much. The mission that we're looking for is actually off to the right of that little break in the path there. We're going to go to the left first because there's a couple of things that we can get over here. Namely 2 particle accelerators, if I remember correctly. There's also a mission over here, but we're not going to get that mission because it's not really anything that I particularly care about. I'm really only in it for the 2 particle accelerators and the CP, honestly. So that's where we're going to go. Those Scatanes, though, I think they were around way back in Chapter 5, if I remember correctly, or 4. Were they in the Vile Peaks? Probably. Oh, good. The rust puddings managed to fuse together. That's fun. There's a couple of battles right here where you're fighting against rust puddings, and then I think it's a ferruginous pudding or something like that. And it's really hard to get a 5-star in this battle. I'm not really sure why. It's just, I guess it's just you having to make sure that you kill these things as quickly as humanly possible, but I don't know. I just have a hard time with it, I guess. Alright, there we go. Let's go to Smart Bomb. I'm going to try to get D-Shell and Imperil on the guy. So, let's see if we can get them both. We can get none of them. Thanks. That's great. I'll do one more, and then if we don't do it, we'll just go away. Alright, there's D-Shell. Nothing much going on there. Oh, we got Imperil. Nice. Okay, cool. D-Shell will just help Hope's damage a little bit, because at the moment his damage is not very good because these things take less damage from magical attacks by comparison to physical. Which is why I'm using Spark Strike, despite the fact that I do not have Bravery. So, alright, we got him staggered, so let's go to Aggression and then finish him off. Before I lose this 5-star, because this should be a 5-star fight, I think. Yep, nope, never mind. I was this close. I needed to, you know what needed to happen is I needed to get D-Shell and Imperil on the first go instead of on the second go right there. But if you thought that battle was cancerous... Oh, the stuff just went back up again into the red there, sorry. Take a look at this monstrosity. And I'll bet you the target time on this one is pretty similar to the previous one. The way that I always did... And you know what, I don't even need to go in here to get these treasures. None of the things that I care about are in here, but... I'm not going to leave treasure on the table, you know? If I see it, I might as well get it. It does mean I'm going to burn a Deceptisol on this, though, which I'm not a big fan of, but I guess I can do it. Alright, listen, if you're going to make me burn that shit, then I'm going to burn all 3 of you to the ground here. I have a plan. Hold the phone, I have a plan. So we Deceptisol, and then we stabilize the gauge with 3... commandos. Ideally, we will kill the rust pudding in the process of doing this as well. If we don't kill him, then that's fine. I'm just going to spend a couple of rounds doing this just to weaken these guys a little bit. And then I'm summoning Odin! So we can stagger these guys. Now, Stage 9 Eidolons are kind of cracked, actually, and they're at Stage 9 now, even though we haven't really invested in Stage 9 at all. They hit really hard now. Odin has over 2,000 strength at the moment. Before Bartandalus, he had like 650 or something like that. So I don't know where he got all this power from, but I'll take it. So, oh, you know, I should probably attack the rust pudding specifically. Oh, never mind, he's dead. How we doing here? Okay, we can go Gestalt now, so let's go Gestalt.
We do this together.
And I think we Thunderfall a few times and then just kind of go from there. Although I could just, like, Lightning Strike or something as well to try to get these guys down a little bit. I don't know exactly how much I need to have their stagger bars at in order for Zantetsuken to, well, Zantetsuken them, but... Do this. Maybe do a little of this. And I don't know, I think that's enough. I'm gonna try it. Sayonara, suckers! Got him.
Until next time.
Probably not even a 5-star. Well, maybe it is because of the Deceptisol. Yeah. Never mind, for sure. I guess it gives me an excuse to actually use my TP, though, right? So, as far as I'm aware, that fight doesn't respawn. I don't think it did the last time when I played ahead a little bit, just a few days ago. I don't think it respawned, so... And as you can see there, none of that was required. It was 3 perfect conductors and a rainbow anklet. Like, no, I didn't need any of that, actually, thank you. The real prize is up ahead here, but I think we got to get through a few more Scotinets and XIIIs before we get there. And, like, the XIIIs, I guess, are kind of problematic because they still have their catastrophic dance that can inflict deep protect, but, like, I don't care at this point. Like, do we just... Oh, okay. I'm on the wrong thing. Excuse me. Hold the phone. I'll be back. Yeah, at this point, I don't really care about the deep protect. It's not like that's going to make or break us at this, you know, stage because these guys are relatively easy to take down now. They just don't have the HP that they did in Tajin's Tower where we had less offense. Now we have a lot of offense, and they don't stand much of a chance. So... I think we should have all of our TP back, though, by the time I get to the end of this hallway, if I remember correctly, so... go back to Relentless Assault. There we go. Because we got to go through there. The real prize is there, and then there's, like I said, a Sea Stone mission right there. I'll try the fight that's there. I'm not sure if it's... It's a Tyrant, basically, like the guy that we found in Tajin's Tower, except... you can't preemptive strike him because he's behind that little barrier, so... Okay, sure, I'll find one that I can hit. There we go. Hope, whenever you're ready to Firaga them, I would say go for it, man. Okay, I guess fireworks, they're gonna explode on us, but you know. I'll start firing. There we go. Yeah, there's like 6 cryohedrons there. That should get us like 8,000 CP. Decent chunk of TP. Yeah, there we go. Look at that. We're almost back up at 4. But the prize is behind them. And by the prize, I mean the prize is, because there's actually one in each of these little things. So the metal armbands are not the prize that I'm looking for, but if we go here, check this one out. This one has, drum roll please, 2 more particle accelerators in it, which saves us about 20,000 gil. Not bad, because we're going to use a few of those when we do the Tier 2 weapon upgrades before the end of today's stream. So, are you over here by yourself, sir? Because there's like a family reunion going on in the background there. What made you decide to come over here? I don't know, I always refer to the Yakshas as male, I guess, but even though I guess they could be either one, because I figure, well, if they're female, they're probably Yaksinis, but, you know, I guess they could be either one. Who's to say, right? How am I supposed to know the anatomy of a Yaksha and a Yaksini? I mean, I guess I could, considering. I think they're both monsters or demons in SMT, if I remember correctly. Could be wrong about that memory, but I don't know. It sounds right to me. Yeah, like, they might get deep protect on us, but, like, no deal. It is weird, though, because I'm not sure exactly how it works, where sometimes it will just get rid of our regular protect, and sometimes it will just genuinely, like, it'll get rid of it and inflict deep protect on us, and sometimes it'll just slide right off because Veil activates instead. So, like, what determines whether it just dispels the protect or actually, like, causes deprotect? Is there another role in there? How's that work from like a gameplay standpoint? That's what I'd like to know. But I don't know. I'm trying to think how I want to do the whatchamacallit though, the Tyrant fight here, because he's gonna summon a blade, which is just a little problematic. Nice, Hope. Nice. Keep that up. I could be water-ing as well, but I figure I might as well single target, because Snow's already doing a little single target. Well, okay, that was multi-target, but... I just like how 2 water guys are enough to get rid of the Scotine. He's not even around anymore, he's just gone. But yeah, I'm trying to think, because I want to get like Deep Protect, D-Shell, Imperil, and Poison. I might just bring the other party in to do this next one, honestly. I appreciate the sturdy bones that the Scatanes are dropping for me, though. That's nice. Hey, Marie, how you doing? Welcome back. Have I figured out what all the ritualistic shit from the end of yesterday's stream was? Not quite yet. The Yakshas and Yaksinis seem to be behind it, but their relationship to Syphax is not clear just yet. I think it's because Syphax is in the cave and he's an Undying Seath and they're worshipping him, but we haven't seen Syphax yet, so I guess I can't say one way or the other. That's what I usually reconcile this whole thing with. I'm not sure if the game tells us, to be honest. So, but I wouldn't be shocked if that was it. I think Vanille as leader is probably best for this one, because Fang's going to be our sentinel, and then Saz can just kind of help out. And what we want to do here is probably want to do a Rav Com for once it's dead. Rav Sen Com. And Sab, Sen, maybe Sin? Get haste on everybody? That seems like a good idea. Maybe do... You know, I probably only need these 3, honestly. Well, no, I'll put a Relentless Assault in here as well, just to have it for when we do get through the guys, whatchamacallit. And then I think just in case we get into a situation that's problematic, let's do like a Med, Sen, Med, I guess. Saz will just cure, but it'll let us get some good mileage out of Curaja, because the 2 medics actually increase the bonus that we get out of Curaja for that. So... yeah, I don't know. I'll see what we can do here. You need a Whistlewind Scarf, young lady. Oh, that's the Aurora Scarf. Okay, well. Redistribute. And I might even have a second one. Yeah, I do have a second one, so I could have just given that to her. Aurora. You get the Aurora as well. There we go. And let's see if this works. Like I said, we can't get a preemptive strike this time, so we got to be a little bit more careful. But, I don't know. I think we can handle this. I mean, I would hope. We encountered this guy in Tajin's Tower first, so, like, I would hope this isn't going to be too bad. I don't know if we'll get a 5-star rating, but we'll do the best we can. There's actually one tier higher of this guy as well. There's one that's only found in, like, Chapter 13. So, but we'll get there. When we get there. Until then, I'm not worried about it. Okay, D-Shell. Thank you for the In Thunder, Saz. That will actually help against this large machine. Pulse Fire is not so much fun, but that's fine. Bark Fire will help as well. See, I knew doing the Synergist was a good idea. Okay, we didn't get Poison. I'm actually more concerned about Poison, honestly, because it'll help kind of tick away at this guy's health while we take out the whatchamacallit. So, alright, there we go. And then Peril. There we go. And now we Delta attack him. Ow. That's it. Keep knocking me away from Fang there. That's probably the best interest for us. Is it weak to just... oh, okay. Thunder, Water, Arrow I can actually do to get some good stuff off there. I don't feel like switching. I'm just going to renew. Oh, good. Okay. I wasn't sure if I could get them all real quick there. I probably should have done like a... whatchamacallit, like a Rav, like a Rav Sen Rav, so that I could do that a little bit more effectively. But now Fang should be able to launch him, and with her up in the air, the guy should be a little easier to kill, so. Because the blade goes away as soon as whatchamacallit happens, so as soon as he dies, which is right now. Good. Fang, perished a little bit, but that's okay. We managed. That's the important part. We got an amplifier out of him, so that's kind of nice, I guess. But yeah, there's a Seath Stone back here. You never have to fight the Tyrant again now that it's open, but this is mission... which one is this? 53, Freedom from Fear, and it is a Zernitra. There's like 6 missions with Zernitras in them. So that might be your first encounter with one, so I guess it's a good idea to, if you are coming in here and you don't have the mission, like mission 30, first of all, how did you get here? Second of all, did you already finish mission 30? Is that how you're here? And second of all, that might be a good mission to take on just to get some practice against the Zernitras, because you'll be fighting them a lot going forward, so It's too bad the cryohedrons didn't respawn here. That would have been nice for getting Renew back, but oh well. Alright, I'm probably going to have to put the party back together again here. I mean, I guess I could use Vanille, Fang, and Saz, but... oh, hang on. Yeah, okay. You go there, and you go there. Do I want to leave the Whistle and Scarf on Vanille? No, I actually want to give it to Fang again, even though I think that was how I had it, because I was thinking the next time I would pull that party out of reserve is when we were going to fight the Adamantullids, but that's, well, that's not true now, is it? As we've seen. Nope, that one's fine. Put it down here. There we go. Rav, send Rav, come, send Rav, and then Sab, Rav, Rav. Alright, there we go. We're good again. Let's give Fang the Whistlewind Scarf that I gave Vanille. So that she's in good shape once we get to that point. I'm just really debating whether or not, because if I was going to be, like, if I wanted to give advice to anybody who was going to play the post-game, I would say keeping the Whistlewind Scarf is actually a good idea for Saz, because in the post-game, you could basically give him the Whistlewind Scarf back with the high 80s Magnums, because in the post-game you'll unlock your 4th accessory. You can't unlock your 4th accessory until you get to stage 10 of the Crystarium. But at that point, with 4 accessory slots, Saz could have not only the Whistlewind Scarf on, so that he has some initiative at the beginning of a fight when if you're controlling him, like if he's party leader in this case, I guess is what I'm referring to. But you could also have him have the Wurtzite Bangle, which would give him enough HP to allow him to equip the high 80s Magnums and not be as squishy. So he can, actually equip that and be on par with anybody else from a physical or magical standpoint, because everybody else will be like up in the high teens in terms of their strength or magic when you get into stage 10, whereas Saz will be just barely breaking 1,000 on his, depending on how much you've upgraded your weapon. So, do I want to try preemptiving these guys? I guess, especially if they're going to turn around on me and then instantly see me anyway, but that's okay. Let's zap these guys and then we'll do what I did previously where I tried to do some whatchamacallit. Some debuffs on the big guy. Well, is it worth it to do debuffs on the big? I mean, I guess, because then with D-Shell on, hopefully doing a little more damage, but he also gets a little bit more effect out of his stagger, I think, when we get that on him. So I guess I'll give it a shot. I'll just get D-Shell this time, though. I don't think we need Imperil that badly, so I think we just need D-Shell. Lightning, we just need D-Shell. Please. There we go. Let's go from there. And I'll still use Spark Strike again, because that's mostly just to make it so that Hope can stagger him a little bit easier. Alright. Now we try to beat him up. Because the chain should be high enough to where we should be able to get some good damage out of him. That's still a 4-star, though. Yep. That was actually worse than last time. Like I said, the target times on anything with the tier 2 or tier 3 flans is pretty tough. You almost have to get a preemptive strike in order to get that, at least in my impression. Like, you have to really be pushing your damage in order to get there. And sometimes I just don't have the push. It's needed. These ones, though, I've got this handled. This battle is it's fine. We got those buffs, and they just don't have the HP to survive, so not even a problem. Again, I do like that they're dropping Sturdy Bones for me, though, because I'm going to use quite a few of those in the tier 2 weapons that we've got going on here, so I think I'll just leave that one for when we come back. But beyond that, it's kind of just doing this for a little while. Once we take care of business in here, let me see. We've got 1, 2, 3 more missions to do before the bonus fight that I'm going to do. And we should be done in here before the end of the hour, so that's pretty good. Got 3 more missions to do. All of them are inside of the Harry Archaeopolis, which is the one, I think the one that's in the northeast corner over by where the paling was. I get the Harry and the Padrian ones mixed up, but I think it's the Harry Archaeopolis. So we should probably go back to the Padrian Archaeopolis, though, so I can show you what the purpose of fighting all these Undying are. So we'll talk about it. Maybe I'll even... I mean, I guess on the way through here, I can also talk about the Circle of Seath Stones that are over in the northeast corner of the steppes, like main area, because those also serve a purpose. Those are supplementary missions that don't have anything to do with the Padrian Well, do they have anything to do with Padrian? No, actually they don't. They don't have anything to do with any of the other paling ones. There are no Undying in those missions, nothing like that. It's usually like some kind of a filler mission with the Zernitra or something else that you've already fought before. But the reason why you do those Circle of Seath Stone missions is because once you do them, they will actually replace all of the turtles, all of the Orthoises on the steppe. Snow, are you okay? You look like you're a little confused over there. They replace all of the turtles on the Archaeot steppe with more powerful versions of those turtles. So like Adamantulids will become something called a Xiaolongui. Adamantoises and Adamantortoises will become, and there's a difference between the two we'll talk about. Is that Prismere crystal? Seriously? I can't escape this stuff even if I try. Considering the sound effect they make. No wonder these Seath went crazy in here. But yeah, so if you do all of the circle missions, all of the Orthoises will be replaced with more powerful versions of the Orthoises on the map. And that changes their drops, it changes their HP. It basically makes them like post-game enemies rather than enemies that you... Well, honestly, it's pretty tough to fight the Orthoises even at this point in the game. You're not really geared well for that purpose just yet, so... So that's more like, hey, so are you, finished with most of the other missions? Do you want a challenge? Okay, do the Circle of Seath Stone missions. So. But I guess this is more what I expected since we're going after an Undying, that there'd be more Seath just going forward here, but these Strigoi by themselves aren't really going to be particularly problematic, so just go all the way down the line here, take them out one at a time because they're spread out one at a time, and we will... Wasn't sure if I can get that in time before I got my bar back. I could. But what we're going to do is we're going to go through one of the paths on the way to the fight with Syphax, and then on the way back we'll fight the other Strigoi. So we won't go in a circle to fight all of them. We'll just fight half of them, go fight... I just said his name. Syphax, there we go. And then we'll go on the other path. Funny, I don't know how you're seeing me there, sir. You've got a giant crystal pincer that should be blocking your vision. You only have one eye now. It's bloodshot for that matter. How the hell do you see? Damn, Hope got the shit kicked out of him there. He got hit so hard he stopped his entire damage combo. But yeah, so far not too bad. I think the next fight is Syphax, though, so that will be a little bit worse because, well, he's an Undying, so they usually have something nasty about them. I'll tell you what, though, like, the Prismere crystal stuff gives me some flashbacks, but the further I go in this cave, the more Zodiark PTSD I'm getting. It is not a fun feeling. Actually, no, we gotta fight a couple other things first, including a Vatala. But we know how to handle these at this point, so should be fine. Get a couple of rounds off like this. Actually, I might go straight into Smart Bomb from this. Just get Deep Protect going, so we can get him once he's out of his little bubble. Okay, go to Aggression, and smack him over the head with physical attacks. back out of that one so we get this attack in faster. Back out of that one as well. And there we go. Not bad. Got those guys pretty much down to a science at this point. It is a little more helpful when Lightning is the leader, though, because then I can just have her use D-Protect, you know? So that helps a little bit. Alright, so Syphax is going to be behind those gates there. When we look on the map, I'll show you. But there's a save point right before him, so that should help a little bit. Oh yeah, we got a pair of Skype, by the way, from that one chest that we just opened over there. And that will be useful for helping us make Tier 2 weapons in a little bit here. I forget, I think we have all of the, like, field materials that we need to make our weapons once we do this part, right? Yeah, it looks like it, according to what I could glean from my notes from the split second that I had to look at them. I probably shouldn't be looking at my notes and battling at the same time. It's like reading a book and driving. Just generally not a good idea. Don't read a book and drive, kids. Did they say that, like, way back in the day? Like, when the Model T was still on the market? And I mean, obviously, at that point, they didn't have anything resembling a portable phone. So,
Easy.
like, I feel like the don't drink and drive thing was not derivative of anything else that came before it, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like it only became a problem when it was like, oh yeah, people are consuming alcohol and driving and getting into car accidents. That's not good. They shouldn't be doing that. But yeah, so there's the mark right there. And then there's a very circular-shaped boss arena right behind him. Again, getting some Zodiark PTSD here, but I know how to handle this one, so I think we should be okay. We're going to get the Charlie's Angels team back out for this one, so I have to take away Saz's scarfs, and I guess actually I need to put the Whistlewind scarf back on Lightning from this as well, because we're going to, well, yeah, I'm going to use a Fortisol and an Aegisol, so yeah, we actually should take that away. And I'm going to use the Tireless Charge paradigm as well. Don't usually use this one, but for this particular fight, it's actually pretty solid, so. Because Vanille can kind of top you off if you're getting smacked around by several enemies, if you know what I mean. We'll do a Med Send Med. I don't really see myself needing that one, but we can start with Tireless Charge. We can stick Relentless Assault up there, and we'll go to Aggression when we don't need healing. I think other than that, that's it. Like, we really only need Relentless Assault if Syphax himself is the only monster on the field. I guess I've kind of told you what the gimmick of the fight's going to be already by saying all of this, but he's not going to be the only enemy on the field that we fight. So, excuse me. I'll just take these from you for now, Saz, and give them back when I'm done. Oh, right, there at the top. Duh. I'll be alright. Like I said yesterday, I'll be okay. Alright, but anyway. Let's save. We'll Fortisol and Aegisol for this fight, mostly just to make it a little bit more free, I guess. I think if I remember correctly, it actually makes it a lot more consistent because Syphax, when you get him down further on his HP, he starts to use a move that's kind of like the everyone's grudge move that Tonberries use called Revenge for the Fallen, where the more bats that you kill while he's on screen using Revenge for the Fallen, the more damage it deals. So just to avoid that whole entire mess, let's just use the aerosols and just blast him. I've got you cornered now, little bat. Where do you think you're going, you floating head? Oh, right. To the other bats. So that's the gimmick of the Syphax fight. He is among these bats, and you have to find him. So the easiest way to find him is to just blow up all the bats. So now with Tireless Charge, Fang and Lightning will just blitz and ruin a whole ton of these Numidias, which will die very quickly. And eventually Syphax himself will show up to the battlefield, and we can go from there. Vanille will just top us off. She doesn't really need to do much at the moment, although I guess I could switch to Rav to kind of get some good stuff going. She's got Aeroga, and I think all of the enemies in this fight, including Syphax himself, are weak to Aeroga, or Arrow in general. So that's kind of nice. I don't remember exactly how many you have to kill before Syphax shows up, but definitely more than 26. So, because yeah, we already cycled through, and there he is now. But I'm gonna go to Aggression, actually. and just keep blitzing. Because he's going to use Grave Summons. But we've got Ravage now because we've got a Ravager on the field, so that actually will deal some good damage to the Chons. Yeah, those are the other bats. The Numidias. And Syphax himself, it'll just stabilize the gauge. So once they're all gone, you can kind of just take care of Syphax himself. Although it looks like Lightning wants to jump up in the air, so maybe it'd be better just blitz. Get rid of the other bats. Because obviously we're going to have, whatchamacallit, we're going to have Syphax himself for a little while. Like, there's still the other bats we have to deal with, but Syphax himself is going to take a hot minute. So we're down to just him. So since he's staggered, let's go Relentless Assault and go from there. I think he's immune to all status effects, if I remember correctly, so I wouldn't worry about that too much. Yeah, I probably should have just arrowed all the way through, huh? Maybe Aurora would work pretty good. Lamenting Cry, I think, can inflict some statuses on you. I don't remember which ones, but let's see if Aurora does pretty good for us. Switch to Aggression, and then see if we can get some good damage off before we go. I mean, we got, over half at this point, so that should help quite a bit with taking care of him, so. Get that Smite off, Lightning. There we go. Double Smite, and that's not quite going to be enough to kill him. But that's okay, because now that he's done, he's using Revenge for the Fallen, which is a problem, but that's okay. We should be able to get him. Let's go Relentless Assault, actually, so we can see if we can get him at this point. I should probably use something other than just Aurora, actually. Because we should be able to stagger him again relatively quickly at this rate. Yeah, there we go. Go to Aggression to finish him off. And that's it. Nothing to it, hardly. Oh, he's not dead. There we go. But yeah, there's a very large amount of target time on that because, I mean, if you're trying to take out those bats one at a time, it's going to take a while. But with Blitz, it's no problem. Ruinga also works pretty well on them, but I don't know. I just like blitzing through. It just feels more impactful, I guess. And it puts me in the middle of all of them when I do that, so I feel like I'm more into the battlefield, Yeah, oh, this boss. I used to fight this boss all the time. Yeah, there's a lot of CP on the line here. You get 30,000 CP for beating this mission, so that's quite substantial, and that's added on top of whatever CP you got getting here, so it's a pretty good chunk of CP to get. I don't remember what you get for a secondary reward for this one, but we get the final Uraninite that we need for beating him, and we get the Heart Striker title as a result of beating him. I guess I can look at what the secondary reward is. Hold on. Final Fantasy. Oh, there's Gamer Corner guides. I use guides.gamercorner.net, by the way, for most of my stuff that I look at for a lot of the Final Fantasy games that I play. It's just a really solid resource all around from what I know of. So, 6 bomb cores, so not really a great secondary reward, but I guess it's not bad. It gives you some good materials to work with. And speaking of materials to work with, I don't know why the camera panned up so that we could see Lightning's skirt, but sure, why not? Anyway, here's 2 more particle accelerators, so that's 4 out of the 6 that we need for the tier 2 weapons, and then this is 4 more perfect conductors. Okay, that's fine. That I don't particularly care about, but yeah, not bad. If you don't use the Fortisol and the Aegisol that I used, though, that fight, it can be a little tricky to get him in 2 staggers, and you really want to get him in 2 staggers if possible, because Revenge for the Fallen is not a very fun attack to deal with. So, alright, but let's get the regular party back out for the journey out of here. Just beat up a whole bunch of the enemies on the way out, and then we will move to the next mission. I'm trying to figure out if I want to do the... because Mission 33 actually takes you out of the Archaeopolis that we just unlocked to go fight something out on the steppe itself. So I'm trying to figure out if I want to fight that first, or if I want to... because the other 2 missions are directly inside of the area. Like, they're directly near... You get the mission inside of the Hairy Archaeopolis, and then the mark is inside of the Hairy Archaeopolis, so it's pretty easy to just do those. But I want to do Mission 34 as the last one, which is inside the Archaeopolis itself, so I don't know. I guess I'll figure it out by the time we get there. Still want Fang on the Whistlewind Scarf, though, because she will be pretty useful with that when we use her as party leader in just a few minutes. So, all right, and yeah, I don't think we need to do any shopping or anything right now. We're in really good shape with our like weapons and our accessories and our Crystarium, so I'll wait to do any shopping probably until we're ready to do like the tier 2 weapons. But like I said, with that extra Uraninite that we just got, we have all of the materials that I can find in the field to do all of the upgrading we want to do. It's just that at this point you may not have quite enough money to do that, so I'm just going to go show you where you can get a nice quick 170,000 more gil while we're in the process of doing the next 3 missions, and then that should help with any extra pocket change that we need. So... no, the stagger won't last a while, but then again, neither will the Strigoi, so I don't think that's going to make a huge difference.
That's how it's done.
All right, cool. And I'm fairly confident in saying that we won't hit the CP cap in the process of going through these areas. Like, even doing all of the missions, I'm pretty sure... like, the cap is 999,999, so... I'm pretty sure even from doing all these missions, Vanille, who has the most bank at the moment, will probably still only get to, like...
that's how it's done.
what, like 500,000, 550,000, which is a lot of CP to burn through, obviously, but it's not enough to buy all of her Stage 9 upgrades. So that should tell you just how much Stage 9 costs to max out, and how much time we're going to have to spend catching Snow up to the rest of the party. But, no, it works out, though, because it means that if Snow is a little bit weaker than everybody else, but he's in the random battles party, it means that our target times will be higher, which kind of acts as a buffer for us. It allows us to be a little bit less efficient and still get the job done, so I'm okay with it. It's a funny thing you just read about the super boss. What did you read about the super boss? I'm okay with spoilers because I'm not going to fight him, so perfectly okay with me. Can cast Doom, but after a ludicrous amount. Oh yeah, actually that's something that every enemy in this game can do. I don't know if it's every enemy actually though, but every boss in the entire game, and that includes most of the high-end marks, will cast Doom on you after, I think it's 20 minutes, if I remember correctly. That sounds right. I'll look at my chat in a second so I can see if I was correct. Yeah, 30 minutes of battle time, okay. How the hell do you last that long? I guess you use a Sentinel and a Medic? I don't know. But yeah, I think it was... I guess I forgot if it was 20 minutes or 30, but I guess it could be 30. So, maybe it's 20 for some and 30 for others. I don't know. I'd have to look. Something usually folds before that point, yeah. If you're playing offense. But remember, you could just play Sin Sen Med or Med Sen Med for X amount of minutes in order to try to... I don't know, run them out of PowerPoints or something. Somehow I don't feel like that's going to work out for you, but yeah, you could just, you know, tank and turtle up and do nothing. So I don't know why you'd want to do that. It's probably not a very fun game if you're just turtling up, but I mean, you turtle when you need to in this game, right? Like if a big attack is coming out that you can use 3 Sentinels to block, you know, mitigate a good chunk of the damage, then of course you're going to turtle up, but you don't turtle up permanently. That's the point. So. Can't wait until we upgrade this to the Razor Carbine. This Edged Carbine being kind of a rusty piece of metal on the end of a hilt is not the most aesthetically pleasing thing that I've ever used in a video game, I'll be honest. I mean, I'm as big of a fan of the rusty sword in Kingdoms of Amalur as the next guy, but if it's not going to give my enemies tetanus when I swing it at them, then why am I keeping it? It's why I like the rusty weapons in Dragon's Dogma as much as I do, because they actually have an end game level use despite being the weapons that you get at the beginning of the game, because if you upgrade them, they can inflict status ailments on the enemy, which is pretty damn nice. Like, they inflict poison and torpor on the enemy, and torpor is like slow on crack. Like, the enemies not only slow down their attacks, but they also slow down their general speed. They move like their models. Their entire models are overtaken by this tetanus that they've gotten from the rusty knives that you stab them with, and they move 50% slower. It's kind of ridiculous in an action RPG. It makes a huge difference in terms of being able to dodge stuff. Hell, sometimes it's to the point where you don't want to torpor something because it messes up your rhythm and you don't dodge something when you should have. Like, you roll too early and then you just get whacked because they're moving so slow. But yeah, no, it's a really good effect, and it's one of the reasons why I like Dragon's Dogma's weapon system a lot, because they answer that. They're like, no, the early game weapons are still useful, you just need to upgrade them a little bit. So, is the reward for killing the super boss even worth it? No. No, just flat out no, not at all. You get a 20-sided die for beating the super boss, if I remember correctly. Or no, you get a gold watch, actually, for beating the super boss. The 20-sided die, if I remember correctly, upgrades into a gold watch? No, I don't think the 20-sided die upgrades at all. There is a 20-sided die in this game, though. If you upgrade the charms, I think it turns into a 20-sided die, which has a very low chance of absorbing any damage that comes your way. Not really my cup of tea, but there you go. The gold watch extends the target time for all battles that you have to fight. By the time you beat the super boss, I don't think you need that anymore. I mean, I guess it helps a little bit with if you didn't beat the other missions, but yeah, no, it's basically just, it's like the Omega badge, right, from 12, where it's just a mark of pride to say, yeah, I beat the super boss. All right, fair enough, I guess. Yeah, it's a bragging rights reward. That's all it is, really. So, I guess I could show, while we've still got a bunch of stuff in my inventory, I could talk about how as of Chapter 11, I didn't even think about this previously, but as of Chapter 11, technically speaking, you can quote-unquote buy Ether Sols from the shop. And Ether Sols, I haven't really used them much, but they're the ones that upgrade your TP all the way back up to maximum from wherever they are. However, you have to go through some hoops to get there. You have to buy a speed sash. I think I probably have enough stuff to do this, so you have to buy a speed sash. I'll just tell you the process, because I don't need the Ether Sol. You have to buy a speed sash, and you have to upgrade it with a Nar Stone. You have to star it, so it's like 1,000 experience to star it. Upgrade it with a Nar Stone to an energy sash. Then max out the energy sash and dismantle it. If you do that, you'll get an Ether Sol along with some other junk items that you can sell. So if you're using a lot of TP and you really want to like make better use of it by just having a bunch of it, you could farm money and get some, money together so you can just make as many Ether Sols as you want. I don't really need that because like if I don't use TP enough to where I need Ether Sols, you know what I mean? If I've got 2 of them just sitting there and I'm at max TP, so like really don't need them all that badly. But if you need them, that's how you would do it. You'd use the speed sash and go from there. Now we could board Atomos, or we could use them as a bridge. It's alright, big guy, you run young and wild and free for the rest of your days, because I don't know if we'll ever need to board you again. We've got a teleport stone right here, so we can get back to where we need to go, and I think I'm going to go to the northern high plain. Let me think about this. Yeah, probably, because on the way to the Archaeopolis that we just unlocked, I'm actually going to beat up the Adamantulids that are on the step for the treasure chest that they have, so... Hey, don't put it on the level of the Omega badge. Selling all 3 badges gets you the Worm Hero Blade, at least. Yeah, and that's true, actually, yeah. So it's not even on the level of that, because you don't get anything for selling the gold watch. Like, you don't even get a good chunk of gil, I don't think. It's made of gold. You'd think it would be worth a lot. Can't do the fishing minigame to save your life, so getting the Shang's badge is off the table. I did manage to do that when I was younger, but it was an exercise in frustration, let me tell you what. So, I do not blame you one bit. I think at this point we can just stay in Relentless Assault and kill these guys. I think we're strong enough to do that. No, I'll go Aggression, actually, just to be sure. Maybe when we upgrade into Stage 9 a little bit, that's when we can go into Relentless Assault. I don't remember, but we'll go Aggression just to stabilize the gauge a little bit. I think Hope's going to throw a Firaga, though. Okay, a Water Gun, that's fine, I guess, because he'll still stagger the guy, and then I can just kind of... while Snow keeps the other guy busy. Okay, he's dead. Won't even need to switch now. So if you do max out stage 8, you can still do this fight. Just obviously make sure that you're careful when you hit the guy so you don't cause the behemoth to transform and get all his HP back and then destroy the Magistatherian and then just make your life a living hell because it's just not worth it. So. Alright, so we could take a Chocobo over to where we're going, but the first Adamantiulid is like inside of this alcove right here, and the second one is like up there, I think, by the save point. So we're just going to walk, and then we'll... once we beat both of them, maybe we'll go back down to Chocobo Lake and grab the Chocobo there, because there's not really a whole lot of enemies in this chunk of the map here. So we'll go grab a Chocobo, and then we'll head off in this direction, because as you can see, well, there's mission 30, but now there's a stone there, and a stone there for us to take missions on. So we'll work on that. First, though, let's swap our party around so that we can get Fang, Saz, and Vanille back in here. And like I said, we want Fang to be in the front of this because actually this next fight, we want her to be primarily a saboteur because the next enemy that we're going to fight is vulnerable to Daze. It's vulnerable to other things too, but Daze is the primary status ailment that I would recommend getting on it. I might get Deep Protect on it as well just to make it a little faster, but at this point we're strong enough to where I'm not really worried about us in terms of our damage output, you know. So, Sab... Rav? Yeah, let's do a Sab Rav as well. Maybe do this just to stabilize the gauge, and then we can build it, and then we can go Devastation so Vanille can go fishing. But we do want a Sab Sin, because I want them to get us some buffs, and then we'll do a Sab Med, because if we... The thing about the Daze status ailment is that it lasts 60 seconds if you don't hit the enemy with anything else while you're in the midst of doing that. Actually, I don't even think we need Smart Bomb, honestly. I think we can just do Ruthless, and that's it. So, we'll just do this, and then that, and then that. Well, no, I'll stick a Smart Bomb in there just in case. Don't think we'll need it, but just in case we do, we'll use it. So, yeah, just act as Saboteur and go from there. Now, do they have all the equipment that I want, though? No, they don't, as a matter of fact, because the Adamantiulids that we're going to be fighting, their physical attacks inflict earth elemental damage and physical damage. So you could use the Witch's Bracelet, because that resists earth effects 25% along with the other ones. But we did make these Gaian rings, so let's use them, shall we? So now we have 25% physical resistance and 40% earth resistance. They should do, I think, about 400 to 500 a stomp now, which will make them a lot easier to take on than before. Because if we had done this without those, it probably would have been closer to 800 a stomp, which is doable, is manageable, but a lot harder to do than just doing it this way. So actually, I'm not going to sort those because we don't need to sort those. That stuff I'm just going to sell. So, all right, but anyway, Sab, Sin, a go. Let's save, and then we'll go drop these two Adamantiulids, and then we'll go do the last 3 missions that we've got going on here. I'm not too worried about grabbing the Chocobo at the moment either because, alright, bye Cactuar. Because we'll come back, like I said, we're going to come back to Chocobo Lake to grab the Chocobo, so if there is anything that we can dig up, we'll probably see it when we get the Chocobo from, well, down there, so. Alright, little guy, I know this is your orb, but it contains capitalism inside of it, and frankly, I need a little capitalism in my life. Sorry. Alright, so, little big guy. Use Daze on him. That's the gist. We can get him stunned. Perfect. If we can't, okay. Now, Daze won't overwrite itself, so like if you get Daze on him, it won't get you into a situation where you end up not having it on, basically. Like, it won't cause itself to be gone, basically. Like, it'll just kind of sit there for 60 seconds, even if you accidentally daze. Like, if you daze him and then you daze him again, okay, it'll stick around. So, like, if I had used those other 2 dazes, it would have not broken that. But anyway, I think Saz has all of the buffs on us. With the Libra Scope, he knows to get whatchamacallit on us. Oh, I didn't have anything for Quake. Well, that's okay. We'll be okay. Now, the way that you want to do this is you want to have Fang kind of use daze in response to everybody else attacking. So like this, to try to get it back on him. Then just press circle once you get daze on him so that you can stop your attacks, and then just slowly build the gauge as you go. Like this, kind of. So kind of just get into a little rhythm of interrupting his attacks with daze, and then there you go. Alright, Vanille, time to go fishing. And with D-Protect on him, he'll go down smooth. Nice and easy. And Frost really helps, though. And Frost plus D-Protect, and he's weak to ice, like, that's what the Libra Scope did, by the way. It helped us to know that he was weak to ice, so that Saz will get Enfrost on him. But yeah, Enfrost plus D-Protect plus 2 commandos on the field, and Daze increasing the damage by 50%. He stood no chance. Oh, he gave us a gold dust, too. Nice. Thanks, big guy. He knew that I had to deal with capitalism, so he gave me a nice little gift to go with the gold nugget on his way off of this mortal coil. How generous of him. Good job, Fang. Capitalism triumphs again. That's not quite the quote, but hey, we work with it. Be here for you soon, big guy. We're not quite at the point where we can go see you yet, but shortly. Alright, now for the one that ponders the orb. I hope he ponders his death, because that is the last thing he will see in this orb. Alright, same thing, get daze on him, wait for the first stomp so that way he doesn't interrupt you. Now sometimes he will just like stomp 3 or 4 times in a row and then just get Quake on you, which is not very nice of him, but it happens, so. Vanille's Veil and Vigilance isn't particularly necessary, but I mean, I guess it's fine, you know. It doesn't really hurt us, so. I believe he'll use a certain number of stomps and then he'll use Quake, so... But now we kind of just got to wait for Saz to get Bravery and Faith on everybody, and then once we do that, we'll just swap over. That should be it. Yep, there we go. Alright, off to Ruthless, so we can build the gauge. And then just repeat, get Daze up on him, and then stop. And then do it again. Go. Do it again. And just kind of keep this rhythm up and it'll be good. Because he won't really be able to do anything as long as he's got Daze on him, so. And any damage that Saz and Vanille do... Oh, Bay's not good either, so let's see if we can stop him from doing that. Yeah, there we go. That inflicts Daze on everybody if he uses Bay, so... any damage that they do on him is multiplied by 50% as long as Daze is on him, so... It's quite nice. Especially with the almost 90% increase to our damage from him having D-Protect on as well. It gets out of control very quickly. That was another gold dust. I guess my luck from the Constitution gem in Skies of Arcadia is still sticking around, huh? I don't remember if that's his rare drop or if that's his common drop, though. It would make sense if it was his rare drop. I guess we can look, right? It's in the data log, so I can just check it out in the enemy intel. Feral creatures or Toises? There it is. No, his rare drop is a Scarletite. I was going to say, it would make sense if it was his rare drop, though, because you actually increase your chance of getting a rare drop by, like, a lot by getting a 5-star rating. I don't remember exactly how much, but I think it's more than double. It's probably like 250%. So, it's kind of nice. Alright, but either way, that takes care of the Adamantulids. We got our gold nuggets. We got a couple of gold dust out of them as well, which is, I think those sell for like, I want to say 12,000, 15,000, something like that. Give me a ba, sheep. Okay, I didn't hear it. There it goes. But I was going to say, I didn't hear it, but that was enough for me. So. Is it money that I don't need? I think I might need it, actually. I think if I remember correctly, I did my math, and I need like 1.13 million gil to make all the upgrades that I want for the rest of the game. I could be wrong about those numbers, though, because those numbers might be with stuff that I'm not planning on making. I don't remember exactly. I do remember that I made sure the numbers were high enough for me to, in case I ever did want to actually upgrade a bangle for Saz and just use the high 80s magnums as a main weapon. We won't have enough to do that, though, just on its own. Like, I think in order to do that, like, we could either have everybody else use tier 2 weapons, or we could get Saz of Earthsight Bangle, and that's, like, we'd have to pick one or the other, and we wouldn't be able to do both. So, it's over here. I think this might be treasure number 19, so it might be worth it to go try and look for some other ones as well. If we don't find them on the way to the Archaeopolis, which we might. But yeah, I'm trying to basically show, is this the ribbon? Did we get 4 treasures, or is this just a nice, like, find? No, it's a nice find. Okay, so if you find one of the dolls that you can sell, like a Moogle puppet or a Cactuar doll or a plush chocobo, anything like that, it'll show up in the same chest as the guaranteed rewards do. So there you go. What do you hear, Mr. Alert Chocobo? Is it the Adamantoise that's over here? No, he's not near here at the moment, so that's cool. Alright, but up to the Archaeopolis. Am I going the right way? I think I gotta go past this guy to get there, right? No, I definitely do not. Alright then. I got a little confused because I didn't see Titan or the Seath Stones on the horizon, but now I do, so, well, not Titan, he's somewhere. How does a Foul Sea that's that large just disappear like that? Where did he go? What do you mean I lost him? He's 65,000 feet tall. That's probably an exaggeration, but... Anyway, here's the real 20th treasure.
Nice.
I think. Another ribbon. So I guess we'll just use a whole bunch of the materials that we've got next time I get to a save point, and we'll try to upgrade that all the way up so we can dismantle it again. There's a save point right over by the Archaeopolis as well, so that should be good. I'm not sure if we can actually hit up Mission 33, though, from where we are. Like, excuse me, from where we're going to go, like on the back of a chocobo. Because there's a lot of enemies inside the Archaeopolis, and as a matter of fact, I'm pretty sure they kick you off of a chocobo as soon as you get into the Archaeopolis, so... Because there's like a cutscene that plays that just... It serves no purpose. There's no reason why this cutscene plays and, has to play. If you just walked in there and you saw all the goblin packs that are inside of the Archaeopolis, it'd be like, oh, there's lots of goblins here, but the cutscene says, oh, there's lots of goblins here. Yeah, I kind of could figure that part out, because there's goblins blocking the entrance right here. So, you'll see in a second what I mean. I might get off the chocobo right here, actually, though, because... Well, if I'm going to get off the chocobo right here, there's a teleport stone mission inside of the Archaeopolis right there, so it might actually be more worth it to just do that mission first, so we can unlock this as a teleport point, then grab this one, which is mission 33, and that'll let us go out of this area to fight a monster, which is over in the Eastern Tors, I think by the Seath Stone Circle. And then that one up there is mission 34, which is the last one we'll do, and that one's inside the Archaeopolis as well. So, yeah, I think I'll get off. You head on home there, Sir Chocobo. You got us the 20th treasure, so that's the last guaranteed reward that you get from digging with the chocobos. But it can be a pretty decent source of money. You can dig up, like, I think the best thing you can dig up is a gold nugget, which has a low chance of spawning, but that's 60,000 gil in your pocket, so... I mean, the worst thing you dig up is like a chocobo plume or a chocobo tail feather, and it's like, yeah, I mean, those kind of suck, but most of the rewards you'll get will sell for at least 1,000 gil, so that's not terrible. I think I'm going to leave the Whistlewind Scarf on Fang because we're going to need her in the party for Mission 33. Lightning, Snow, and Hope can handle Mission 31 on their own. So, there we go. Just set this stuff back up. I think when we get to Chapter 12, there's going to be a situation where I might actually want to change one of the the paradigms that I have in this deck that I've been using for like the last 20 or so hours of the game. I think I might want to switch Mystic Tower over to, is it Matador? Yeah, Sab Sen Rav instead of Rav Sen Rav, because some of the enemies it's worth trying to like let Snow tank things while you get D-Protect or D-Shell or something like that. I don't know. But we'll see. Do you guys all have your correct equipment? Yes, you do. Okay, good. All right, so let's see if we can upgrade that ribbon. I didn't buy the speed sash, so I don't think I'm going to... You know what I'll do is if I have leftover money after I'm done doing all the tier 2 weapon upgrades, then I'll show you the energy sash ether cell thing. Because we need like 72,000 gil in order to do that, if I remember correctly. So something like that anyway. All right, here's the other ribbon. Yeah, let's just go nuts. I'm not going to use the sturdy bones, though, because I'm going to hold on to those for when we actually need them for stuff, you know. So we'll try to get the, whatchamacallit, we'll try to get up to the ×2 multiplier. ×3, I should say, actually, because there's the ×2. I was going to say, that might get us there, but no, not quite. There we go. And now we just throw whatever we can at this and hope that it works, but not the particle accelerators. Don't use those. We need those, so hold on to those. And obviously the gold dust and the gold nuggets. If you wanted to use these as catalysts for this stuff, they don't give very much experience. They give 1 experience a pop, so that's how you know you should sell them. If they give 1 experience a pop, and at the ×3 multiplier, obviously they give 3. But if that's what they give, then just sell them. It's just way easier than trying to use them for something that they just aren't made for, you know? So, and the Dawnlight Dew, I think it actually does a little bit, but that's also something we can sell, so. All right, let's use some perfect conductors, because those give a very large chunk of experience, so. And then we can go from there. Don't use the fluffy wool. And, I don't know, I'm down to use all 23 of these spine horns. Not quite at ×3 yet, but we're pretty close. Maybe this will get us there? No, not quite. Oh, these won't get us there. Oh, there we go. All right, cool. We'll probably need to do that one more time, though, because we don't really have a lot of good stuff to use right here. I mean, the bomb cores, I guess, but well, maybe these solenoids. 27, 31. Okay, so this is a little better. And we're at a ×2 multiplier. Let's use all of these. That'll get us to level 5. And we need to get another... I feel like this has happened before. Another 4,000 experience in order to get there. So let's just get the multiplier all the way up again. And then we'll go from there. Or as high as we can get it anyway, in order to get closer to that point. So, got plenty of Seath tiers though, so that should help quite a bit with getting the multiplier up further. And a lot of Tears of Remorse as well. There we go. What do I have though that I could actually use, like, and get a good chunk of experience out of? Not a whole lot. I mean, I guess I have these, but that's only 660, so that's not a whole ton. Tungsten tube, that doesn't get us a lot either. Let's just use a bunch of these, and then if we have to, we'll build the thing up, the gauge up again. Okay, it's a ×2 again. Let's use this. Okay, 2,700 now. Put that back at ×3. We need another 2,300. Okay, well, this is going to be tight, but we'll get there. Still at a ×3, so do that. And then just use a whole bunch of these to finish it off, I guess. End up using organic materials at the end to finish this off. That's funny. We need about 507. Okay, that's good. Beautiful. So there we go. Second ribbon all the way upgraded. We've run out of almost all of our materials, but to be fair, we don't need any more of them, so that is okay. All right, let's dismantle that second ribbon. Again, I'm just not a big fan of it because Veil gives you double the effect of this without you having to waste an accessory slot, so. And there's our Dusklight Dew, the red mycelium. So let's sell off our plunder, shall we? And like I said, I'm going to do the rest of the missions before I do any of the tier 2 weapon upgrades, because I don't really think we need them for any of these missions. So I'm just going to take care of these first, and then we'll go from there. Alright, so that's all good. Don't need these ever again, so we can get rid of those. Don't need this, because that's just sellable. Do need those, so I'm going to keep those. Look at all this money we're getting from the Moogle puppets, though. That's nice. Cobalt-tite. Keep the Perovskite, the Uraninite, and the Scarletite. We'll need both of those. Oh, those sell for 15k. Wow. That's nice. And then there's our gold nuggets. And the Dusklight Dew. I think it was 1.13 million, actually, because I forget if I said 1.13 or 1.31 million, but I think it was 1.13 million. 1.31 million seems a little high, judging by the fact that we still don't have that quite enough after all of that, and the ribbon was like supplemental. I didn't have to do that in order to get the money, so... But yeah, we will burn through a good chunk of that money. Don't worry. I'm just waiting. I don't want to be too overpowered for this point, so I'm just waiting until an opportune moment, that's all. Alright, inside the Archaeopolis we go. Doesn't look like a whole lot of resistance yet. But there they are. So yeah, that's the whole cutscene, and that would have kicked you off your chocobo if you
Why don't you just try it?
brought the chocobo in here, so that's a whole lot of fun. Alright, let's beat our way through these goblins. Where the hell are you going? Get back here! Oh, you're screaming at Tevi again? Oh, that's fun. Wait, hang on. Water. There we go. What are you screaming at Tevi about this time? Alright, so Ruin to go. Let Snow get them all in a nice little group so we can explode them. I love how it just erases the rest of their HP bar and it's just like, well, we're ticking off to a different enemy now. Because you kind of murdered them, Lightning.
Wide open.
Alright, how's the other goblin doing? Dead. That's how he's doing. I didn't even have to ask that question.
Easy.
He's gone. They're all gone. Looking for a hidden passage and you have no idea where it is. You think you have a hint, but it doesn't go anywhere, huh? That's a whole lot of fun. Well, I hope you find it. I wish I could help you with it, but I wouldn't have the first clue where to find something like that, so... Alright, what's over here? Oh, okay. You, do you guys need help? Should I stay here and hope that you... Okay, good. It actually works. I've never been able to get these guys to actually fight me when I come through here. Granted, I don't come through here often, but they usually have such a hard time actually, you know, hitting their hitboxes into you that it just doesn't really work out for them. So. Alright, takes care of that guy. Next guy. Lightning is too short. Yeah, I should just put Snow in as party leader. That would allow them to hit him. Can you imagine if Hope was party leader, though? Like, they'd never stand a chance. They'd be like, he's too short. We can't reach him. I forget if we fought those guys yet, but the Strigoys that we fought previously are also here in the Archaeopolis. As a matter of fact, there's one over here right now, I think. Yeah, it's a Strigoi. So we don't need to go that way yet, though. We're going towards the teleport stone, so we're going to go over here first and fight this Goblin Chieftain and his friends. I don't know if that's a preemptive. Probably not. Oh, okay. Well, color me surprised. Alright, use Blizzaga, so I'll use Blizzara, and then let's get him in a nice tight group with Delta Attack, so I can blow them all up. Well, that one's not going to get blown up, never mind. Quickly, Lightning, quickly! Never mind. That's fine, I guess. Blow the rest of them up with this one. Are you almost... Okay, you're almost done with your stagger bar, so it's probably not really going to help us, but I guess I can get some good damage off on you before you lose your bar. Alright, I can just do regular ruins at this point. It's not really... I guess it's hitting the other guy, so... okay, Smart Bomb. Get D-Protect on him. I guess. Actually, probably D-Shell's better. I don't know if he can actually... Okay, he can get that on. Good. And then just auto it up. Because off he goes. Nothing to it. Remember when those guys were kind of tough? Like, the Munchkins were never really tough, even with the Maestro, but the Goblins were kind of tough sometimes. Not so much now, though. I mean, we're so much stronger now than we were, so that's probably part of it, but, you know. Alright, just do this, Delta Attack. And then blow them to smithereens. Yeah, like that, Hulk. Good job. I also love that just to add insult to injury, it's not enough that we're exploding them with Ruinga. It's also Ravage because there's a Ravager present. Like, as if it wasn't doing enough AoE damage. Now it's doing even more. He's almost dead, so let's just do this and then we'll go to the other guy once I've got this stuff on him. There we go. Now we got these shell. I mean, honestly, that's all that matters, so. Alright, launch him up in the air, Snow, and then we'll just throw ruins at him from there, and that's it. So you gotta fight these guys to get to mission 33. Actually, I'm not sure if you actually have to fight them to get to it, but you can always just walk along this in order to get to where you're going, but you'll hop off eventually. So yeah, here's mission 33 right here. But let's do mission 31 first, which is right over here. And then... See, mission 34 perplexes me, because I think you need a chocobo to make it up that ledge. Let's beat these guys up first, and then I'll see if you can make it up. Oh, okay, never mind. You don't need a chocobo to get up here. I always thought you needed a chocobo to get up here, because there's a little chocobo launch pad at the top and the bottom of this place, but, okay, well, never mind. Yeah, see, there's the chocobo launch pad right there. But I guess you don't need it, so... Yeah, it perplexes me, though. It perplexed me when that was the impression that I got because of the fact that you would get up there, and the thing about chocobos is that if you get them too close to the border of the Archaeote Steppe, no matter which border it is, they'll just throw you right off, and then they'll run off. So it's actually kind of funny, but in like a, you know, slapstick humor sort of a way, I guess. But, I guess we don't have to worry about that since I can actually just hop right up there now. So that's fine. I'll take it. But yeah, see how that didn't do extra damage to Snow? I mean, he has a lot of HP, obviously, but that didn't do extra damage to Snow Wind Slash, even though he has Imperil on him. So that's your indication that, yeah, maybe Wind Slash is not elemental, actually. So... And it's not, it's physical damage all the way, so. Pretty decent CP in here, though, all things considered. Not too hard of fights at max stage 8, and you probably aren't getting here before max stage 8, to be fair, so. You know, that helps a little bit. Some good treasures to find, too. Here's mission 31, Newfound Purpose. Another Pulsework champion to fight. By this point, this guy shouldn't be too hard. He has a little backup, though, and it makes the target time a little tougher, but we'll get there. Excuse me. It doesn't much matter if it's destroying a Pulsework champion in the hairy Archaeopolis or picking flowers in the yard. If it's my focus, I'm gonna do it. Life was boring before, with nothing to live for, but now I'm a Lassie, I have a focus, and life is beautiful. The clouds have parted, and there are rainbows! Seath or Crystal, it's all the same to me. So long as I can put myself to the test, challenge my own limits, and win. I admire this guy's chutzpah, but good lord did he pick the wrong job. If that was what you wanted, sir, you are in the wrong occupation. Holy hell. Anyway, treasure in here. Some random guy and his kids decided to go on a spelunking expedition, I guess? I don't know. Like, what the hell are these seekers doing in here, right? Alright, either way. Yeah, sure, I'll just fight this one and get that going. Do I want to use Smart... I mean, I guess Smart Bomb won't hurt here. More damage we do with the debuffs on the... Oh, I didn't get anything? Holy crap. Level 1 Saboteur is, something. Okay, well, I mean, at least we're staggering him. Yeah, remember what I said before, though? It's dependent on whether or not the bar is high enough. Like, if the stagger bar is high enough, you'll get the debuffs on him. So, like, if you stagger the enemy, you have a much higher chance. It's the base chance, whatever the base accuracy is. Plus, you get, I think, a passive accuracy bonus to some of your attacks, your debuffs, if you have a higher saboteur level, and the stagger gauge. Those are the three things that make the effect. So, I mean, Lightning being level 1 saboteur there, yeah, no, it's not really a shock that I wasn't getting my debuffs on him when his bar was still low, you know? So, alright, let's see if you can do what your friends couldn't. Without me moving. Is that a no? Or were you sizing me up? Alright, come on, man. I know you can do it. I can't open this chest until you do it. There we go. Just lure him away from the chest and then just yoink it. Wish I could. Can't. Unfortunately. You know what? He's going to be dead in 3 seconds anyway. I don't think it's worth switching.
Be ready for the next fight.
I thought about something after the last stream, by the way. For Mission 27, I called him Mithridates the Lone. Is it Mithridates or is it Mithridates? Because Mithridates or Mithridates was like a Greco-Roman demigod or something like that, wasn't he? I think. Sounds right to me, anyway. So, considering they always ended with some sort of ease, I mean, Hercules... Yeah, you know, maybe it was Mithridates instead, and the emphasis is on the ri rather than on the myth, you know. Okay, so the Pulsework champion over there has 3 Seekers in the fight with him, so if you don't get a preemptive strike, it's kind of hard to 5-star it, and since this is a mission, I would like to 5-star it, so... Decepticol a go-go, thank you, Bhakti. And then we'll just go on blast. Take care of his backup first, and then we'll stagger him. Even if he loses the stagger, I'm not really too concerned about it, honestly. Oh, they're almost all dead, so there we go. I guess I'll go Smart Bomb. I probably don't need it, but... Let's see what we can do there. Deprotect and De-Shell. And then Snell beat the shit out of him. Yeah, he'll go down smooth here. Didn't even need Deprotect and De-Shell, but it did guarantee it, so... Nice and easy. What a weird mission structure, though. Like, what was that Pulsework champion doing with 3 Seekers backing him up? Anyway, you get 3 perfect conductors to that, so nothing particularly interesting. The interesting thing is the treasure chest that we can hear inside this building, but it's going to take a little doing to get to him because there's 3 Strigoi and then something else in the other part of the building, so... maybe Delta attack is in order here, actually. I'm going to get whacked in the face otherwise. Yeah, I'm going to Delta attack. Just duck out of the way. Make him deal with it, Hope. Don't take no shit. I'll try to spam this so that we can get some big damage off on them if they, you know, get into a nice tight-knit group. There we go. That might be working. Okay, I'll just do the 1 and then I'll ruin gut because they didn't go into a nice tight group there. That's unfortunate. Just go like that. There we go. Well, Hope should be coming out of Daze in a moment. There we go. Now we should be able to get them a little bit easier. I think I'll just go Relentless Assault now. I don't think we need the Sentinel anymore. And Snow's already taken a good chunk of damage anyway, so, you know. I'll just use Renew if I have to. Hell, we might be able to get it without... no, never mind.
We can get through this.
There we go. I mean, I guess since he's up in the air, he might be able to do it without it, but just to be safe, you know, and not have to switch to medics of any kind. Because we definitely don't need that. We just needed a little pick-me-up. Well, this fight's lasting longer than I wanted it to. Oh, well. No, we're all gonna get hit by that, huh? Nope, never mind. I'm good. Let's do an ATB refresh. I'll still be dazed, but then they at least get to do some new stuff because they're good. Okay, now I can go because I'm out of daze. Daze doesn't last as long for the player character as it does for the enemy, as far as I'm aware. It lasts like 60 seconds for the enemy, whereas for you it's only like 10-15 seconds, so not too bad. Doable, you know. A cactuar? What are you doing in here? Alright, fine. I'll take care of you too. Do another round of this and then off we'll go. He's only vulnerable to daze as far as I'm aware, so it's not really worth going to Smart Bomb. I'm thinking Delta Attack is probably a good idea though, just to keep him away from everybody else, you know. Let Snow handle it for a little while. Mystic Tower, get a little fireballs getting thrown here. Probably this fight will take a little more than a minute, but that's okay. Not really problematic. Well, the Entrench should let Snow do some pretty good damage by the time he's done. Yeah, that's like 13k on a Cactuar. That's not bad. Not at all. Do another round of this, and then maybe we'll go Relentless Assault. Because at this point, well, let's do one more. Or maybe I'll just let Snow do his Entrench attack. And then we can go, yeah, okay, now we go Relentless Assault and then just keep going. We should be dead shortly after this, so. There we go. Alright. So now we can work our way back around once we find the treasure chest that this Cactuar was guarding in the hole. It's another collector's catalog, so that's the third one that you've gotten for free from a treasure chest. It's pretty nice, actually, because you could turn this one into a connoisseur's catalog, or you could just sell it for a cool 50,000 gil. I'm gonna do the latter because, yeah, no, I don't need that stuff. But if you do need a connoisseur's catalog and you have not been hanging on to, if you didn't hang on to the other two because you needed the money, here's another opportunity to make one, so you don't have to buy it for 100,000 gil. You know, so. There you go. Well, that one didn't go over so well. It's okay. Doesn't really matter. Like I said, the CP reward is the same whether you get a 5-star or a 0-star on a fight, so the ranking is just, or the rating is just kind of there to tell you, hey, here's how good or bad you did. It's not really. I mean, it has a point. It serves a purpose, obviously. It, you know, changes the drop rates that you get, but I don't know. Not really something that I fret over, I guess. You know. It is a little dopamine rush, though, when you see the ding-to-ding-ding-ching. But yeah, like that. But if it's not gonna happen, then it's not gonna happen, you know, like, pick up and move on. Alright, so now that we've gone through the whole area on the ground, let's take the little shortcut to get back to this mission. I don't think you can, oh, you can hop off here. Cool. Well, that makes this easier. I'm gonna have to fight through the goblins anyway to get out of here, but here's mission 33, the second to last one we're gonna do, a Parent's Pledge, and we actually have to go fight an Adamantulid as a part of this one, so we'll see what we can do. I've been charged with putting down a stray Adamantulid that wanders the steppes' eastern tors, no doubt seeking its lost parents. What kind of monster could perform such a deed? Not one day goes by I don't recall the pain of losing my own child to a rampaging beast. Would I now subject other parents to that fate? No. I forsake my focus. The cycle of suffering ends here. Well, I'm glad you took a stand, but it sure as hell didn't work out for you now, did it? Anyway, if we can hop out of here, I might be able to get back to the eastern. Okay, yeah, no hopping out here. We gotta fight our way through. So let's fight our way through. We'll get to the teleport stone. Oh, I got a preemptive because I didn't hit the other guy. Cool. Yeah, we'll get to the teleport stone, and then we'll just Anybody not staggered? Oh no, we got everybody. Good. There's actually a way to use the teleport stone, though, without having all of the Seath that are there even get involved in that whole fight, so we'll see what we can do about that. Let's see if I can get these on before we lose the stagger here. Okay, cool. Maybe Imperil even? I don't know if Imperil works, but it's worth a shot, I guess. Yeah, it might work. Nope, never mind. But this will be enough. I'll just get rid of him real quick, so... Cool.
Be ready for the next fight.
But yeah, I'll show you. You can actually get to the teleport stone without actually fighting the Seath that are guarding it, even though they're like right in front of it, and I mean right in front of it. You gotta wait for this guy to be not looking at the stone, so we might not get it here because he's gonna look back, but no, never mind, we got it. Cool. And once you examine the stone, even if he's looking directly at you, he won't like start the battle or anything until you leave the stone. Or if you teleport, then he will never get the chance to. So we're just going to go to the Central Expanse. There's a Chocobo right there, so I'll just get Fang, Saz, and Vanille back out. We'll let them take on the Adamantulid, and then we'll head back up to the Archaeopolis to take on the final mission that's in this area. And once we're done with that, there's actually the paling that's up there will be unlocked, and we can go to another optional area that I'll talk about in a few minutes. But first, obviously, we gotta take care of another giant turtle. So if you got the gold nuggets at this point, you've got 2 out of the 3. Did I ever explain that that's how Libra works? I don't know if I did. Basically, when you kill an enemy, you get 1 out of 3 of its Libra data. If you use Libra on an enemy, you also get 1 out of 3 of its Libra data. But if you use a Libra scope, you get all 3 of them. So basically, if you kill 3 enemies, you get all of the data on them in the bestiary. If you use Libra 3 times, you also get all the data. Or if you use Libra once, kill them twice. Use Libra twice, kill them once. You get all the data. Libra scopes, though, will just give you all the data right away. And that's probably why they just took Libra out of the second game and just gave you Libra scopes and let you buy them, because having multiple different ways of finding an enemy's weaknesses was kind of just like, okay, I'll just kill things, and then if I'm not sure about something, I'll use a Libra scope, and you get enough of them over the course of the game to where that is a feasible method of doing things. So, let's see. Sab Comrav worked out pretty well. We did this before. Sab Sin Sin. And I think that might be it. I'll do a Sab Med Med again just to be safe, but I don't think we'll need it, so, because we'll do this, then this, then this, and that's it, so. Alright. Everybody got the equipment that they need? Yep, you guys even still have the Gaian rings that I equipped on you because I forgot to take them off. That's cool. Alright, then. So we'll save here, we'll take a Chocobo ride up to the Adamantulid, and then we'll head back up to Mission 34. I'll probably just drop the Chocobo off at the save point at the Archaeopolis because, well, maybe not. Maybe I'll... Well, I'm going to have to get off of the Chocobo, I guess, in order to get, like, actually fight the Adamantulid, but I suppose it won't be too big of a deal to just, like, grab another one after that. I guess I could show what happens if you take the Chocobo too close to the edge of an area, because we have to go to the edge of an area in order to even get to the fight here, so I suppose that's not out of the question for me to do. Okay, there's our mark right there, so we'll just take like a curve around the little plateaus here, and that should be good enough to make it to where we're going. And this is not the last Adamantulid we have to take on as part of the story. It's the last one we have to take on as part of missions or any treasures that I want to get, but I think you fight one more, or you have to fight one more as a part of the story, if I remember correctly. So, alright, Chocobo, you've done enough. I'll grab your friend over at the plateaus there once I'm done with this, but before that, well, sorry, kid. A lot of things that can be excused, but shooting kids ain't one. Still gonna do it, though, because somebody else wouldn't. Alright, anyway, we'll leave him like that. Get Deprotect going in just a second. If he stomps a couple of times while we're at it, that's fine. I'm just kind of trying to make sure that the gauge stays going, so Oh, he didn't even get it. Okay, well. He gets to stomp a couple more times then. I mean, I could just interject a few dazes into there as well, but... Let's get daze going while we take some damage. That's fine. Do I want to renew? I guess I'll renew while I'm waiting. And that's it. We can move. Because Saz has gotten all of the buffs on us, as has Vanille. Then we just do this for a little bit while they do stuff. And then we go. Canceled that one a little too quickly, but it worked out now, didn't it? No stomping for you. You're not allowed. Oh, he's gonna do it now, but that's okay. Goodbye. Nothing to it. You know, other than the fact that, boss, you killed a child. Amazing, mission complete. That's why they call you the boss, boss. We're an adamantine knight now, so that's good, I guess. Don't feel very good about that one, but sure. Why not? Get a white cape for beating the kid, but nothing substantial there. Hey, sheep, can you make me feel better about my wanton murder? Thanks. The sheep always have my back. Oh yeah, actually, hang on, I want to dismount this one, see if he's right here again. I actually wanted to have Vanille be party leader here, and I know that's kind of mean because she's going to get thrown off of a chocobo in a second, but I think she has the most genuine reaction out of anybody getting thrown off the chocobo. So, like, the one that you would expect someone to have if, yes, they got thrown off of a chocobo. I have another whistle end, right? Yeah, okay. We'll just stick that on Vanille real quick. We'll give you the Aurora Scarf. Give you a Witch's Bracelet. I think we mostly just need physical resistance for this one, though, so... But I'll put the Witch's Bracelets on anyway, just to have them. Do I want to have any buffs for this next part? I know I want debuffs for this next fight, so... And I kind of want Vanille to have the debuffing parts done, so... We probably won't need to use a Sentinel at all, but I might do a little bit of it. How about this? How about we do... Yeah, we'll do Sab Sab Sin, I think, to start with, and then we'll go from there. We don't need as many Saboteurs this time, because there's just a couple of things that they're weak to, and that's it. So, we'll do that. We'll do Rav Com Com. And then we'll do Triple Commando? Yes, why not? Sure, that'll work, I think. Alright, that takes care of that. Let's get on the Chocobo and head up to do Mission 34. So back to the Archaeopolis we go. I was going to say one last time, but yeah, one last time. Because after we take care of this mission and go see what is in the area above the Archaeopolis, once the paling's down, we're going to leave. And we're not going to come back because we'll be done with all the missions that I want to do once this one's done, so no reason to come back, you know? We're going to push on ahead with the story instead. Well, after I do the bonus fight. So, actually, I can show 2 bonus fights in this part now that I think about it. It's not just the one that I can show. I was going to show just one, but we're going to be done with this mission and probably done with the little preview thing that I was going to show in the other optional area beyond this paling, probably by 9 o'clock Eastern time, that is, if you're watching from a different time zone. So since that's the case, I mean, hey, why not? I'll show a couple of different fights. There's a couple of... Basically, the 2 bonus fights that I want to show are methods of grinding Gil if you want to, like, work at the other missions at this point, or try to maybe get tier 3 weapons or anything to that effect. I want to show some fights that allow you not only to get a bunch of CP and Gil together so you can work on stage 9 while you're down here, but you can also work on getting your weapons higher leveled, and you can work on ensuring that you're ready for those missions, even if, you know, some of them I would recommend waiting to take on until stage 10, but excuse me, some people, like, a lot of people will tell you, oh, go do mission, I think it's 55, if I remember correctly. Oh, I'm going to get her thrown off, sorry. I thought I was going to stop right there, but no, let's get her thrown off. God, that's a terrible thing to say, but we're going to do it anyway. Yeah, a lot of people will tell you to go do mission 55 because of the reward that it gives you. Hold on, I'll tell you what it is in a sec. Ow! Hi! Well, that's not very nice. So yeah, if you get too close to an exit from the step, the chocobo will just throw you off and say, nah, screw you, I'm getting out of here. But, well, we don't need to worry about that now. Do we? Because now we've got mission 34, Zenobia the Butcher. It's another undying, so that's just great. And Zenobia the Butcher is of their number and I of her line. But I go now to stay her blade. She has blades, it looks like she has tentacles instead, as my father and his father before him once attempted. The Butcher's den is in the old Hayri Archaeopolis at the northern edge of the steppe. There, at the scene of her foulest atrocities, I will expunge her taint and restore my family's honor. That's a hell of a thing to say about somebody that you are now serving as the literal wall to prevent us from doing more. I'll leave Vanille in front. She's pretty good in this fight, and the fight is right down here. Is it getting darker all of a sudden? What's with the weather? This is not a normal condition in the steppe. Yeah, I was going to say, before we do this next fight, a lot of people will tell you to go do, I think it's mission 55, because you get a growth egg for beating that mission. And the growth egg, it doubles the CP that you get from every fight from then on out if you have it equipped on any party member in your party. It doubles the CP that everybody gets as far as I'm aware. So it's a really solid accessory. The only problem that I have with it is that in order to do that mission at stage 9, you need to rely on a personal skill that I actually haven't shown yet. So I suppose since I'm talking about it, I might as well show what a personal skill is. If we go into the Crystarium, each character has a personal skill that they can use in stage 9. It takes up the entire ATB bar to use, all 5, well, all 6 even if you use it when you have 6 ATB, like if you have a tier 3 weapon, it gives you an extra ATB bar. But they're usually really powerful abilities. In order to do mission 55, people will rely on Vanille's personal skill, which is over here, I think? Yeah, Death. She has a spell, she has an instant death spell in this game, and Death has a 1% base rate of activating. It's not affected by Saboteur bonuses. It is affected by other debuffs being on the enemy. Every debuff that the enemy has on it increases the chance of you inflicting death by 1 more percent. So it has a 1% base chance, and every debuff you get on the enemy is 1 more. Well, unfortunately, the boss of Mission 55 is only vulnerable to Imperil, so you only have a maximum of a 2% chance of instantly killing it, and in Stage 9, it's a very uphill battle to try to beat them without death. It takes sentinels and summons and a whole bunch of other shit, probably a bunch of quakes as well, because I think the enemy's weak to earth. There is probably a video out there that shows... No, I'm pretty sure the video that shows the alternate method of killing stuff still uses death. But I'm not a big fan of that because any time, like, I already hate luck and RNG in video games, and anything that I have a 2% chance of winning any given fight, it's like, no, I'm going to wait until that fight's more guaranteed before I do it. So that's why I'm not going to get the growth egg. I'm not going to do Mission 55. That's one of those things you do in the end game when you need like 300,000 CP per node in order to get it unlocked. I think that's an exaggeration. I think the most that you need is like 50,000 per node. But yeah, no, it's not something that's my cup of tea, honestly. So just not going to do it. Fang's personal skill is in her commando tree. Is it over here? No, it's up there. So Fang's personal skill is High Wind. Like I said, she's the High Wind of the game. What this does is it clears the chain gauge, it clears the stagger gauge, it drops it back to 100%, but it inflicts damage based on how high the chain gauge is. It's probably the strongest physical skill in the game because Fang's strength is so high, and this inflicts so much damage. It can, at this point in the game, if you get the chain gauge, the stagger gauge high enough, it could probably inflict 4 hits of 99,999 damage on whatever you hit it with. So it's very powerful. Definitely worth using if you're going to have Fang as party leader and you're not sure if you'll quite get the kill in one stagger. You might want a High Wind. It'll probably end it in one stagger. Snow gets an equivalent to that, so actually maybe we should go and do him first because Saz, Lightning, and Hope all get personal skills that are kind of equivalents of each other. So we'll talk about those after. But Snows is in his commando role as well. That's the wrong direction. We want to go here. Sovereign Fist. So same thing, 4 hits. Actually, it might even be 5. I'm not 100% sure. But if it's 5, then High Wind is also 5. And deals more damage the higher the chain gauge is. Best used while the enemy is staggered, and when they're just about to run out of stagger, if you're not sure if you're going to get the single stagger kill. So there you go. Saz, Lightning, and Hope, on the other hand, have skills in their Ravager tree, personal skills. And out of all of them, we'll probably see Saz's the most often because Saz is the party leader in a lot of boss fights for me. And that means that he can use Cold Blood, which builds the chain gauge, builds the stagger gauge rapidly. It's like 18 hits in a row. So think like Ungermax from Barret in Final Fantasy VII. It's kind of what Saz does here. It rapidly builds the gauge up. And there's actually a tech that you can do with it in order to inflict maximum damage, even though you're in Ravager role, but I'll talk about that when we actually use it for that purpose. Until then, we haven't even bought it yet, so I can't do anything with it. Lightning is, it's going to sound weird because she's the main character, but I kind of feel like her personal skill is the weakest of the 3 Ravager personals. And the reason why I think Army of One is that way is because Saz and Hope don't have to be right next to the enemy in order to use it. They can use theirs from long range, whereas Lightning needs to run up to the enemy in order to use Army of One. It's basically Omni Slash, to be fair, from Cloud from Final Fantasy VII, and it rapidly builds the gauge, but she's the only one that needs to be in melee range to actually use it, as far as I'm aware. So it's really good, and it's really cool looking, because she basically dances through the enemies. Like, you think of the war dance that the Yakshas have used, think of that, except Lightning's using it, and that's kind of the idea there. So it's really cool looking, and it's got some cool sound effects attached to it. I just think out of the 3, it's probably the weakest because she has to actually get in melee range to use it, and sometimes that's not feasible. Either way, it's still very powerful. Hope's is a little bit different from the other 2. It's called Last Resort, and it looks very familiar if you've played Final Fantasy X because it basically looks like Holy from Final Fantasy X. It has a very similar animation. And what it does is it will deal a large number of hits to a single enemy, but if there's more than one enemy on the field or more than one target, it will split its damage and its gauge building based on however many enemies there are. I think it's 8 hits if I remember correctly. And so if there's one enemy, they'll take all 8 hits. If there's 2 enemies, they'll take 4 each. So it builds the gauge rapidly, but actually, no, I think I'm going to say that Hope's is the weakest of the 3 because it's AoE rather than focused on single target. So it probably goes Saz's is best because he doesn't have to get in melee range, then Lightning's because it's still 18 hits, and then Hope's because it's only 8 hits and it's more focused on AoE. It has its uses because sometimes you'll get a preemptive strike and then get a whole bunch of enemies staggered. If Hope is your party leader, Last Resort will build the gauge very rapidly and allow you to, build them all up very quickly so you can switch to something else and then just kill them all. But yeah, no, there you go. So those are the personal skills. Excuse me. And if I have to rely on a personal skill that only has a 2% chance of actually hitting, I'm not a big fan of that strategy, so I don't really bother getting the growth egg at this point. A lot of other people would recommend it, but for me, if you're listening to what I have to say about it, just wait to get the growth egg until later when you actually need it in order to make sure you get enough CP to get to the point where you'll be better off, So anyway, now that we've done all that explaining, let's go fight this Zenobia lady. I don't know if Vanille was a good party leader for this one because frankly the idea of these tentacles hitting her in the face scares me beyond belief, but I guess that's what Fang is for. She'll protect her. Oh, I know that guy. Oh. Okay, well, thanks. That's a lot more helpful because now we don't even have to worry about those tentacles. Nice work, Tonberry. Is it just me or does he still look hungry? Oh boy. So yeah, the final boss of these missions is not Zenobia the Butcher, it's a Tonberry. So let's see what we can do against him, shall we? Deprotect, Deshell, Imperil, Poison. I think they all work on him, if I remember correctly, so we'll just use that to build the gauge up. Fang isn't really doing much. I probably should have let her get the D shells and stuff. I guess slow might work too. That's not a bad idea. I'm gonna try to get poison. Oh, daze works. That's nice. If we don't get poison on him, I'm not really too bothered. I'd just like to try to get Imperil if possible, but slow will help quite a bit actually. So either way, he's vulnerable to fire if I remember correctly. So Saz is a good pick for this one. Just do as much as you can to get the electricity going. He'll use Knife, and you want to kind of try to beat him pretty quickly, actually, if possible, because eventually he'll use a move called Imminent Grudge, if I remember correctly, and then if he hits you a couple of times after that, I think he'll use the move Everyone's Grudge. And once he uses Everyone's Grudge, he'll reset his HP to full, which is absolutely not what we want. So we'll just try to avoid that altogether. So, all right, aggression time. We'll build the gauge a little bit more, and then we'll switch back to Relentless Assault if we need to. But I think we might just switch to Cerberus after this, honestly. Like, I don't think we'll need too much after this. So, oh, Saz, you didn't even get haste on yourself. I should have stayed in thing for a little longer, but Fang wasn't doing anything, so I wanted to give Saz a chance to, you know. All right, we're going to go to Cerberus right after this to finish him. Yeah, and we need to because there's Imminent Grudge. Go, go, go! All right, cool. We got him. Phew! That was a little close. Hey, piece of Yoshi, how you doing? You're so calculated, SMH. I try to think things through sometimes. Sometimes my brain is working. Not all times, but sometimes. If you didn't get a sprint shoes from dismantling the Tetratic Tiara that we got from Dahaka, this is where you get your first Hermes sandals, and you can max this out and then upgrade it with a pair of Skite, I think, to get a sprint shoes. So yeah, if you want to, this is where you get it officially, where you don't have to do any dismantling. So there you go. Okay, well, the clouds are parting, so that's probably a good sign. I think that means that we're in good shape. So, with all that out of the way, we're done. We've beaten all the missions that I want to beat. Sort of. Not quite exactly. But actually, before we use the teleport stone, let me see if I can get up here without aggravating the locals. Yep, there we go. Cool. And now that we've beaten, well, Zenobia, but the Tonberry as well, we can actually head in this direction and go to a new optional area. So that's what we're going to do. But before we do that, let me actually bring the normal party in here because Saz, Fang, and Vanille, we don't really need them to do anything at the moment. So I'll just let them hang out in the back while the Random Battles party takes care of business in here. Swap these up. That's the wrong one. Although I do need a Delta attack, but we can do that here. Go. And then Sab, Rav, Rav. Alright, we're good. Okay. So once we load back in, now we can go to the optional area. I gotta tell you though, it's so much nicer not having to go grab a chocobo to get over here, because I used to think, like I said previously, that you had to have a chocobo to get up into this section, and trust me, it's so much more of a pain in the ass to walk all the way back out here, grab a chocobo, walk all the way back in, have them kick you off, and then... No, it's too much work. I'm just glad that I found that little jut there to get in here. I hear Celia Springs music. That means this place might be full of mystery. The Fault Warrens. Truth Seeker's Rise is the name of the area, this part of the Fault Warrens, so. Do I hear the ground shaking out there, or am I just nuts? It'd be kind of interesting, though, if they did have the ground shaking here before you found this guy, because the Fault Warrens is Titan's domain.
Look, that's Titan.
Does a thing that size even eat?
Adamantoises.
He's a biogenitor. Chews up one species and spits out another.
I don't think I even want to know how that works.
It talks?
How is it not shaking the sound barrier every time it talks? I would prefer not to become fertilizer, thank you.
Even deserve to live?
Why don't we let him see for himself who's weak?
Yeah, we'll show him who's boss. By leaving. The Fault Warrens I would consider to be a post-game area. it's kind of like it's not really a randomized dungeon, but the way that it works is it's based on this chart here. So you fight the same fight every time you go in first. Once you beat that fight, you get to pick left path or right path. And then you keep going for 5 total fights. Once you've beaten 5 fights, I believe after that point, the 6th fight is based on whatever path you took to get to that last fight, that 5th fight. So like, let's say you went left every single time. You'd go to A1 to start, then to B1, C1, D1, E1, and then you'd fight the final boss of that far left path. That means there's a mission for every possible path that you can go on in the Fault Warrens. Now, I've played Shadow the Hedgehog, not for the stream, but I have played Shadow the Hedgehog previously, so the idea of doing this again makes me sick to my stomach. So we are not going to be doing the Fault Warrens. But there's like at least 10 missions associated with this place based on the number of paths you can take. There's probably more. As a matter of fact, I think there's like 16 total possible paths you can take through here. So I'd have to do the math, honestly, like just do the combination math, but I don't know. 16 sounds right though, because I think that's how many separate endings there were in Shadow the Hedgehog. I could be wrong about that though. It's been so long since I played it. Either way, there's a ton of missions associated with the Fault Warrens, and they'll tell us here that the enemies that we're fighting are going to be very powerful, but as you work on Stage 9 of the Crystarium, you'll probably be fine to go in here, and if you decide to do what I'm doing, where you only come in here in the post-game, by the post-game, you'll have a maxed Stage 9 Crystarium, and at that point, you're more than powerful enough to kill everything in here, so. But, as for me, I got nothing to prove to this guy.
How much these things eat?
I don't think we want to find out, Hope. I got nothing to prove to this guy, so I'm getting the hell out of here. I will show him how powerful I am, though, because he's always overseeing the Archaeolt Step, and, well, I have one more plan for the Archaeolt Step. But before we go back there to do this one final plan of mine, there's a save point right here. We have all the materials that I need in order to make Tier 2 weapons. Let's make some upgrades, shall we? Well, we have all the materials that I could find in the field. We need to buy a few things in order to get to that point, but let's make some upgrades, shall we? Alright, so I have it listed in my notes. What do I need? Let me see if I have anything to get rid of first, and then after that we can go from there. No, definitely keeping the high 80s magnums. Don't need the Hermes sandals, so I'm just going to get rid of those. Don't need the white cape, get rid of the witch's bracelet. Again, you can make this a connoisseur catalog if you want. I won't need it, so a cool 50,000 gil sounds like a nice little prize for me. And we got a whole bunch of stuff down there that I don't need. I'm going to keep the sturdy bones because we're going to use those. I'll keep the chocobo plumes because those are a good luck charm, particle accelerators, all that stuff. So anything below the scarletite I'm going to get rid of. So we won't need any of this stuff. So, get rid of that. Don't even need the perfect conductors actually either, so just get rid of those two. Alright, so now, if you were wondering where we were going to spend all of this money, here we go. Let's spend all of this money, shall we? Excuse me. Alright, we need to get... I might as well get the stuff from here first, since I'm already in the R&D depot. So, now I will show you all a trick. I will make a good chunk of my money disappear. Are you ready? Before your eyes, here it goes. That's the wrong number of reactors. Whoosh! There goes 870,000 gil. Because we needed 2 more particle accelerators and 17 ultra-compact reactors. Count them, 17, in order to fully upgrade our Tier 2 weapons. So that's a rough chunk of change we just lost, but that is the largest expense that I'm going to make here, so that's probably okay. The mother load, we need to go there because we need to get one more pair of skite because we need to upgrade. What we need to upgrade with this? Is it 1 or is it 2? Hold on. I think it's 2. Yeah, it's 2. Because we can upgrade the Razor Carbine or the Edge Carbine with the one we have already. But we need another one for Hope's Hawkeye, and we need another one for Saz's Vega 42s. So we need 2. And we need 1 more Scarletite, because we have the Uraninite for Vanille's weapon, we have the Scarletite for either Fang or Snow's weapon, but we need another one for whomever's we don't upgrade. So let's get that as well. There goes 160,000 more gil. We're just blowing right through it, aren't we? Good lord, man. I told you money's a little tight in this game. And we need 106 superconductors total, so I can only buy 99 of those at the moment. So let's just buy them from Hot Pink Lenora's garage. Let's just top those all off, use a few of them, and then we'll buy the other 7 that we need. Now off to creature comforts. I need a total of 82 barbed tails, 89 vibrant ooze. So let's get those first before I forget those numbers. 82, 89. And I think it was 141 sturdy bones total. Yeah. Okay, so let's top those off, and then we need 109, 119, 129, 139. We'll need 42 more sturdy bones after we top these off. So hopefully I remember that. 42. All right. So that's that. We got a whole bunch of stuff. Let's make our upgrades, some of them, and then we'll make the rest by buying the other stuff that we need. All right. So back to these weapons, shall we? Hyades magnums are good. We don't need to do anything with those. They are as strong as they will ever get. Now, what about the rest? Let's see. I'd like to use something that uses superconductors, actually, if I can. So I guess the Altairs are a good one, because those use 34 superconductors right away. So let's do that. And do those use sturdy bones as well? Let me see. No, I've got barbed tails in there. What uses a bunch of sturdy bones? I guess the battle standard uses a bunch of sturdy bones, so let's do that. And actually, let's do that in the Marlboro wand, because if we do those two, I'll have used up 43 sturdy bones, and I need 42 more. So if we do both of those, then we can just buy the rest of the stuff and upgrade everything else from there. So, all right, so Power Circle's already all the way up. To make it the battle standard, which is the tier 2 version, we need to use a Scarletite. So let's use that, and bam, boom, there's your battle standard. Now, in order to upgrade this all the way, I think we just need to get the multiplier up to ×3 with sturdy bones. Yep. And then just straight up use 5 ultra compact reactors just like that. So that's what we'll do. So 36 sturdy bones it is. That'll get you a ×3 multiplier. Again, that works on any weapon or accessory in the game. It doesn't matter how high of a tier it is, nothing. Just use 36 of those and you'll get that. So, and then 5 of these. That's 480,000 experience, so that should tell you how much you need in order to upgrade some of these tier 2 weapons. It's kind of obscene, but yeah, that's what we're going to use. And that will instantly star the battle standard. Now we get 513 extra strength instead of the 198 we got out of Power Circle. Oh, these weapons are going to be pretty strong, that's for sure. All right. Now, in order to get the Belladonna wand up to tier 2, you need a Uraninite, so let's use that, and that'll make it the Marlboro wand. This is nice for Vanille because it increases the improved debuffing passive she gets off of it. Now it's a higher chance of inflicting them. I think it adds 20%, if I remember correctly, to all of the base chances of her debuffs, which is really, really nice, because some of them only have a 20% chance to start. So it makes a big difference. All right, so we need 36 barbed tails, so let's do that first. 36, and then we need, let me just make sure, 36 barbed tails, 7 sturdy bones. And the 7 sturdy bones should keep the multiplier once we use the ultra compact reactor. So that should be good. And then 1 ultra compact reactor, then 27 superconductors. So I guess at the very least, Vanille's is a little more gracious because we only need to use 1 of the ultra compact reactors to get it there. So that'll get it to level 36, and then use the 27 superconductors. It was 27, right? That number looks right, but I'm just making sure. Yeah. And again, you don't have to do this the way that I'm doing it here. I'm just doing it this way because this is the least amount of money we will spend in order to get the most benefit out of it. So that's why I made them this way. So, and again, this isn't even my recipe. I'm using the Etros Gate recipes to make sure that I use the least amount of money. But there you go, Starred Marlboro Wand, extra debuffing chances, a decent magic score. It's not what the battle standard gives for strength for snow, but it's decent enough to where Vanille can use it pretty effectively. So. All right, that's 2. 4 more to go. Let's go grab the other 42 sturdy bones and the other 7 superconductors that we need, and then we just have all, or we should, I should say, have all the materials that we need in order to do the rest. So, and this was 109, 119, 129, 139, 42. Yep. And good, we've only used 43, so we're just under the amount that we needed there, so that's good. And we use some superconductors, so grab 7 of these, and we should be good. I think I said 7. If I didn't say 7, I meant 7. We need a total of 106, and we had 99, so. Alright, now we should have everything. So the Hawkeye and the Edge Carbine need the same materials in order to upgrade. So they need a pair of Skite in order to upgrade into their Tier 2. So use that, and we get the Razor Carbine. You'll always take a little hit to your stats when you upgrade weapons, by the way, to their Tier 2 or Tier 3 variants. So make sure that you're ready to upgrade them further after you upgrade them before you use the catalyst to get them there, because otherwise you're just taking a hit to your offense, basically. So, excuse me. All right, now for the Razor Carbine and the Eagle Talon, we need 36 30 bones, then 22 Vibrant Ooze, so 36 of these to get the ×3 multiplier. So that's that. We need 22 Vibrant Oozes. This will maintain the ×3 multiplier when we use the ultra compact reactors in a second. And it's 3 ultra compact reactors and 3 particle accelerators. So nice and simple from there. A lot of experience being thrown around, but nice and simple at the very least. So there's 3 of those. That'll get it to 58. And then 3 particle accelerators. And there's a starred Razor Carbine. Not a bad score, 448 on the magic. That'll help Lightning, and she's already pretty balanced anyway in her stats, so like her getting a pretty solid score there, it works out pretty nicely. Hope, however, well, considering how much magic focus the Hawkeye has, I'm pretty sure you can imagine how much more powerful the Tier 2 version will get in the magic department as we go here. So, Tier 2 department is the Eagle Talon, and again, same thing. So it's 36, 22, 3, and 3. Yep. So 36 of these, 22 Vibrant Oozes to maintain the ×3 multiplier. There we go, 3 of these, and the last 3 of these. There's a starred Eagle Talon, 506 extra magic for Hope. That's nothing to sneeze at. He will be over 2,000 magic by the end of the game now as a result of those upgrades there. I think he hits like 1,800 without weapons in the end game, if I remember correctly, but I'm not 100% sure about that, like without even taking into account the weapon bonus, basically. All right, so Saz, let's get you an upgrade now. So the Altairs are very similar to what we needed for the Razor Carbine and the Eagle Talon. We're going to use 3 more ultra compact reactors, but we need to use superconductors instead of particle accelerators just because they're less expensive to use than the particle accelerators, because we already had the particle accelerators in our inventory, you know what I mean? So I figured we might as well use them. For Saz, it's 36, 22, 3 again, but then it's superconductors after that. But before we do that, we got to upgrade the Vega 42s to the Altairs. So that's cool. All right, so we were using, in this case, we're using 36 barbed tails. So let's use those. It's another 22 Vibrant Ooze. So there we go. And then it was 3 ultra compact reactors and 27, no, not 27, 34 superconductors, excuse me. So 3 ultra compact reactors and 34 superconductors. And there's your starred Altairs. Nice and balanced for Saz. So like I said before, though, the starting weapons of this game that every character comes with at base, they're all pretty good in terms of what they allow the characters to do in the end game. So you don't need to get them different weapons to upgrade them if you don't want to. You could just upgrade all of these up to Tier 1 star or Tier 2 star, and you'll probably be fine to beat the whole game. You just won't get the passive bonuses for Fang and Vanille that increase their chance of debuffing the enemy, which I value pretty highly, so that's why I usually switch them off of those. So in the case of the Razor Carbine, it's just more magic for Lightning, and I'm kind of having her focus on the magic anyway. Snow, I've kind of got him focusing on the strength, so the battle standard seems to make sense. And for Hope, I really wouldn't use anything other than the Eagle Talon. It's just so much more powerful on the magic than anything else for him, so, and that's really his whole thing, so might as well. And the last but not least, Fang's weapon. Let's use the last Scarletite that we've got, and that'll upgrade the Pandoran Spear. We opened this box, and we got a Calamity, because here's the Calamity Spear. This increases her chance of debilitating the enemies with Slow, Curse, Daze, Pain, or Fog, and again, I think it adds 20% to those chances, if I remember correctly, so it's pretty nice. Fang's is a little bit weird, though, because it needs those oddball numbers to be thrown into them in order for it to work. So we need 8 sturdy bones. And it's a pretty high tier weapon because we're getting not a whole lot of experience out of this either. So we need 10 barbed tails, so just use the rest of these. We need the other 18 sturdy bones. Just use all those. And we need to use the other 23 vibrant oozes now. So let's use those. We need to use the rest of the ultra compact reactors. That'll get it to 37. And then the last 45 superconductors we have. And there you go. All tier 2 starred weapons for every single character in the party, and we still have a little bit of cash flow left, as a matter of fact. Now, the Calamity Spear isn't the best weapon for Fang. I value the improved debilitation over everything else, but the strength and magic isn't incredible for her. It's still okay, though, because Fang has, like, the highest stats in terms of raw strength out of any of the characters in the entire game from her Crystarium alone. So even if you don't have, like, a really powerful strength weapon for her, she still is miles ahead of most people in the party. Like, even Snow, he gets a raw deal, because if you have the high 80s magnums for Saz, Snow has the 3rd highest strength out of any character in the party. He is pretty far behind Fang, even if you don't give Saz the high 80s. So, but yeah, that's it. All tier 2 weapons. The accessories that I want to use are all starred as well. There's 2 more accessories, I think. Yeah, 2 more accessories that I can fill this area out with, but one of them I'm going to end up dismantling anyway, so I'm not really too concerned about that. And we are good. So, that all out of the way, let's save. And then I would like to show all of you a couple of ways that you can get Gil and CP while you're here still in Chapter 11. Now, there is a way to come back to quote-unquote Chapter 11. It's not really coming back to Chapter 11 so much as it is coming back to Pulse later on in the game, but you have to wait till Chapter 13 in order to do it. You can't actually come back here once you commit to going back to Cocoon until you've beaten Chapter 12. So before you leave Pulse, make sure you've done everything that you want to, because if you don't do everything you want to, you won't be able to get back for at least one more chapter. So... And granted, you could just beat the rest of the entire story. Like I said, there's probably about 8 hours of gameplay left once we get off of Pulse before the main story's over. But and then once you're done with Chapter 13, I think you just go straight back down to Pulse, if I remember correctly. So, yeah, you could just do that. Alright, so, here we go. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to teleport back to Erba. Even though this is normally where we would go in order to continue the story, we're not going to continue the story just yet. You could come at this mission from 2 different directions. I'm going to go from this direction because I find it a little easier to run around the shambling corpses in the area in order to not fight anything on the way to this mission. So, both of the methods of getting Gil and CP are mission-based, by the way. There's 2 missions total that I think are pretty solid in terms of getting both Gil and CP in a very controlled manner. Like, it makes it so that it's guaranteed. You'll guaranteed get the Gil. You'll guaranteed get the CP. You don't have to worry about drop rates. Because a lot of the times when people tell you, oh, well, go grind in Final Fantasy 13, a lot of the time they'll tell you to do, like, Adamantoise farming or something to that effect. And if you just go kill Adamantoises out on the steppe, yeah, you'll eventually get money and you'll get Gil out of, or CP and you'll get, yeah, Gil is money. You'll get CP and Gil out of it. But the drops from the Adamantoises are not guaranteed. So you'll definitely get CP, but you might not get money. And sometimes money is more valuable than CP, because what if you need to upgrade your weapons, or what if you need to upgrade different accessories, or what if you do manage to get a trapezohedron drop and you'd like to take a weapon all the way up through tier 3? If you don't have money, you're not going to be able to do that. So in order to get the immediate payoff that you might like, it's probably better, if you're going to do any grinding, to do grinding in areas where there is not only CP on the table, but also Gil. So these 2 methods, I would say, are my personal picks for the best grind spots at this point in the game. There is one more place that I could recommend, but it's unfortunately not available until Chapter 13, and it's a limited time offer as well. Once you beat about half of Chapter 13, it gets locked off forever. So then these mission-based ones become your MO in terms of the way that you can grind again. So these are probably the most consistent, I think, grinding methods in the game. You get a guaranteed reward that's worth a decent chunk of money. You get a guaranteed chunk of CP. If you get the growth egg, you double that CP. And it's usually not too bad to run it back and redo the mission. So this first one is in Tajin's Tower. I mentioned this one previously, but I'll show you how to get to it first so that way we can then show it off. And I'm also going to switch the party up a little bit for it, because we really only need one paradigm, and we need... Well, we don't need this specific party to do it, but it's probably the party that I'm going to use for the other one as well. So I figure I may as well just get the party together. I'll wait till we get to the save point, though. And we're going to go down or up, depending on where you came in. We're going to go down or up to the 4th tier. If you came in from the Palisades Teleport Stone, you might have to beat the Managarms on the way through, and I find them a lot harder to dodge around than the shambling zombies on the way back from Erba. It's a little bit longer of a walk from Erba, but again, it's easier to dodge all the enemies. And you only need to do this walk once, so that gives you a little bit of an advantage to this one, because the other one, you have to walk all the way back to the stone from the actual mark every single time you fight it. So, little less ideal, but the rewards, I think, compensate for it. We'll talk about it once we get there. So, all right, here's your save point. If you ever decide you want to take a break from this grinding method, this is the save point for you. Party that I'm going to use for this one and the other grinding method is Saz, Fang, Lightning. I want them in the party in this order. It doesn't really matter for the marks themselves, but for the run back that you do with the other mission, this party configuration allows you to have them attack a single enemy with Relentless Assault, whereas if Fang was over here, Lightning and Saz would actually fight different enemies as Ravagers because the AI bugs out a little bit when the commandos last in the slot. It's a really weird glitch. I'm not sure why it happens, but it's fixed in 13.2 at least, so... Either way, what we need for this one is Cerberus. That's the only paradigm you need for this one. Just 3 commandos, just smack them up, and yeah, we'll be good to go with that. What I'd like to do, though, is I'd like to take these off. Take everybody's stuff off, actually. We'll re-equip them after this, just so that way I have all of my accessories available to whomever needs them. I think I'm going to give Saz the Hyades Magnums for this, too. Well... I don't know if they're necessary, actually, and 2844 HP is not a whole lot, so I think I'll just leave him on the Altairs, actually. So give him the Sprint Shoes, we'll give him the Morale Talisman, excuse me, and a Tetratic Tiara. We will give Fang an Aurora Scarf, and also a Morale Talisman, Tetratic Tiara. We'll give Lightning her Blessed Talisman, and Aurora Scarf as well. And the last Tetratic Tiara. And these will just give you some nice little buffs that you can use right at the beginning of the fight, because this fight, if you do it correctly, it shouldn't last more than 30 seconds each time. So these little buffs will help with the amount of damage that you're doing. But yeah, the stats that we have at the moment is just looking at tier 8, and we're not in bad shape in terms of our stats. I mean, 800 strength, 1000 strength. Here's 1144 magic for Lightning, 1183 for Snow. And then Hope has 1331 on his magic. That's absurd. And then he has auto faith in the beginning of each fight if I have him with a Blessed Talisman on. So that's like 266 extra magic, which is 1597, I think, if I did the math right. So that's not bad, kid. Not bad at all. But we are not just simply going to go walking into this place unprepared. Let's buy a little bit into stage 9, shall we? Because why the hell not? I'm going to just do the ones for the personal skills for everybody before we go any further here, and the main reason why I want to do this is because of the other mission that I'm going to do, because for the other mission that I want to do, I want to get Fang in peril, just in case I need it, because sometimes Saz isn't the best saboteur since he's only level 1 at it, but more importantly, the main reason why I want to buy a little bit into stage 9 is because if we buy all the way up through to that HP plus 100 node on the main grid there, for Saz specifically, we will get access to, like I said before, Cold Blood. That's really all you need. Just buy up to that, and that's it. you have that, you should be in good shape for the remainder of this. 832, 809. How much strength does that give you with the high 80s? Let me just double check that, actually, before we go any further. 1592. Okay, maybe you want to buy a little more, actually. 1592 is a little, well, it might be pushing it a little bit. I'd say try to get up to about a total of 1700 strength with the high 80s equipped. So I guess at this point I might as well just burn all the CP that I've got, because these nodes will get them pretty close just from them by themselves, so. But yeah, as you can see, the nodes here cost a decent amount of CP. 12,000 for the main nodes, 18,000 for the ones off to the side, no matter where you are on the grid, so. It's little slim pickings here. You're not exactly just gonna blitz right through these like you did with Stage 8 in some cases, you know? Like, once you started getting the grinding methods down. Not that easy this time. Oh well. We'll make it anyway. So you're done with Ravager. That's good. We'll work on Commando next, and then we'll do Synergist last for you. So I'll just move you up for a little while here. Oh, you got Ruin Gun. Nice. Here's a bunch of strength for you. Grab all this. Cool. The extra HP's nice as well, because the high 80s decreases HP by so much, but it's not necessary. So it's just there in case we need it. And this is a 12, right? Yeah, I had a feeling. All right. Fang, let's do some upgrading for you. We'll do Saboteur just up to Imperil real quick, and then once she has Imperil, like I said, that's mostly just for insurance, because Saz isn't the best in terms of his Saboteur's stuff, so. You don't really need the strength or the magic, because you're actually going to be the support character in the situation that we're going to get into in the other mission, so I'm just gonna move this up so we can get you to High Wind. You'll get done with this whole section of the grid, though, because if Saz got his whole thing and you're pretty much in the exact same boat as Saz, you should get your whole Commando grid done. And this is the, Stage 9 is the end game for before you beat the final boss for everybody, by the way. You won't get Stage 10 until after you beat the final boss, so you'll be as strong as you need to be for the remainder of the game if you buy all 3 of the primary roles all the way up on these grids at Stage 9, so. And actually, that's like probably 95% of your bonuses anyway to strength and magic. Most of the nodes on the higher ends of the grid, like on Stage 10, are used to get you enough HP to survive the ludicrous amounts of damage that some of the enemies in the post-game do. So, yeah, you probably won't, you'll probably mostly be getting HP after this, so just, you know, just keep that in mind, I guess. I could get you extra magic instead of the strength node, but I might as well just keep it, because the strength node, that way I just buy it and it's out of the way, you know. Alright, lightning, let's buy up a little bit for you, get you a little bit of extra magic. Ravager's good for that because it gives good magic. It also gives you Army of 1, which is nice. And I believe this one, okay, the magic is there, and then Thundaga is here. Kind of like with Fang and Entrench and Vendetta. I'm not going to buy Lightning Thundaga just yet, because I don't want it to mess up her Ravager commands there. Because if I bought Thundaga, it would mess me up so that Fire, Blizzard, Thunder, Water, and Arrow weren't directly next to each other on her command list. So it would make it harder for me to check enemy weaknesses in just a really quick flash in each fight. So we'll buy Thundaga later when I don't need to worry about that again, which will probably be right before the final boss fight, if I'm honest. But that's okay. Mainly concerned about the magic nodes for Lightning, because she's going to be using the Blessed Talisman for these 2 grinding methods, but we can buy both of these, so that's the good part. And she'll get some more magic here, some more strength there. All around, pretty good. And she'll finish this out. Nice. Can't do anything else with the other ones, but at least we know Ravager's done for Lightning, other than, you know, Thundaga, but we'll get that later. Snow is going to be the most behind out of anybody, as I said previously, because we bought all the way to Stage 6 on Saboteur, but that's okay. It's fine. We'll get him all the way there no matter what. So it'll just take a little while, that's all. He does get quite a lot of HP, though. He's going to be rocking almost 10,000 HP, if I remember correctly, when we, whatchamacallit, once we finish off all of his primary roles, so that's quite a lot. More than anybody else gets, that's for sure. He ends up with the highest max HP by the end game, if I remember correctly. I think he has like 30,000 HP or something ridiculous like that. So that is nothing to sneeze at. I'm just going to leave these nodes here. That's fine. All right, Hope, you've got the second highest, I think, amount of CP out of anybody, so you should get quite a lot of mileage out of this 421,000 that you're banking. So the strength, not so much, but, you know, the magic is nice, at least. And I think he needs a little bit more for his side ones here, because I don't think he has as many nodes as everybody else, which is why he takes 20,000 for some of these, and it just gives him, like, more bonuses. I'm not really sure, but it just seems like he needs a little bit more than other people. And it also seems like this little stage here is a little bit smaller than, like, Fangs or something, but I don't know. I could just be looking at it the wrong way. The plus 40 magic is really nice at the end of Ravager for him, though. Like, holy crap, that's a lot. We'll do Medic next, because I don't really use him as a synergist. Although, if you do use him as a synergist, definitely do that as soon as you can, because, well, Courage is nice to have here, so that's a good one to grab in Medic. But if you do use him as a synergist, definitely go into synergist for him, because he gets haste in his stage 9 of his synergist Crystarium, which finally puts him almost on par with Saz in terms of his buffs and debuffs. Saz gets Protect and Shell from his stage 9 synergist, and I would argue that in most random battles, actually really in most battles in general, Vigilance is the stronger of the two buffs. Hope gets Veil, Saz gets Vigilance, and they're exclusive to him. But that's why Vanille is our secondary synergist, because then it doesn't matter which one of them is the synergist in the party. I can just have Vanille cast Veil and Vigilance and then not even worry about that, and I can worry about more important things, like getting bars up if they do elemental damage, getting ends up if they are weak to elemental damage, and you know, just generally doing other stuff like haste, bravery, faith, all that. So, all right, Vanille, we showed Death, so we'll go get Death. It does make me wonder why Hope's is called Last Resort, though, if it looks so similar to Final Fantasy X's version of Holy. Like, why not just call it Holy, you know what I mean? I guess maybe they figured if they called it Holy, they'd have to have, like, Flare as an equivalent or something, and they don't really have that, but I mean, they could have just not had Saz's be called Cold Blood. They could have called it, like, Flare Bullets or something like that. I don't know. But whatever. It's not a big deal. I'm just spitballing. Oh, you asked in the Tevi Discord and got the answer to how to get to that room. Now, man, oh, that's not good. They gave you the answer, but did you want that answer? Is what it sounds like to me. So, because it sounds like it's going to be a hassle to get to where you want to go. Just from what I just saw you type. Okay, so that's Saboteur all done. Medic next or Ravager next? Probably Ravager next. She's got Curaja already, so Medic's probably just going to be a bunch of stat bonuses, so just grab what we can from here. This might just be stat bonuses too, honestly, though, so I guess we'll see. I mean, it doesn't matter if it is or it isn't, right? Like, we got all the CP, might as well burn through it. We'll probably get to that section of nodes right up there, but we won't quite get to buy into them because they're 18,000 and this is... Oh, it's only 16 for you. Okay. The kids are all right, I guess. Maybe Vanille needs a little less than everybody else. But yeah, even with all of Vanille's banked CP, as you can see, we only got approximately 1.5 of the stage 9 Crystarium done for her. So that's quite a lot of CP that we need in order to finish that off. So there you go. As for what you missed, Marie, we made the tier 2 weapons. So we got Altairs, we got the Calamity Spear, we got the Razor Carbine, we got the Battle Standard, there it is. Got the Eagle Talon, got the Malboro Wand, so we are in good shape. And now the plan of action is to show 2 separate grinding methods that you can use if you need to get some gil and CP together. We're back in Tajin's Tower for that, like I said before we took a break to do our Crystarium, so let's do that. And the mission that we're going to do is one of the missions we actually used to free the Menhirim. I referred to them as Big Stone Guys previously because I forgot their actual name. They're Menhirim. it's one of those missions, and it's up here. If we go up this elevator next to the save point on the 4th tier, we can get to mission 24, which I mentioned previously, if I remember correctly, that you could kind of, because the mission giver is in the same room as the mission itself, the mark that you're fighting, you can just walk back and forth between the statue and the mark, kill the mark quickly, and then come back, and you're in great shape. You don't have to worry about a single damn thing. So. And that's the principle here, honestly. You go up the elevator. So again, take the main elevator to the 4th tier, go up this elevator to the 5th tier, exit right here. Here's the mission stone. This Menhiram will give you the mission, so just examine him. Don't have to worry about those guys over there, as long as you stand over here. It's the Mushisu again, so let's just take that. Commence the mission. The mark appears behind you near the elevator. Go this way. With Stage 9 of the Crystarium, I don't think you'll need a preemptive strike in order to do this quickly and efficiently, especially with all the buffs that we have at the beginning of a fight. And with Cerberus, we should be able to just kind of auto-battle them, you know? So let's just see. Like 3 or 4 rounds, I think, and we should have them. If you have the Hyades Magnums equipped, obviously Saz will do a significant amount more damage. But, I mean, he's fighting the main boss, so like... Okay, see, the other one's already dead. And if we fight this one, we should have him right about now.
Didn't even break a sweat.
So that was what, like 25 seconds in battle? 24. Okay, there you go. Now, I prefer to talk about this stuff in real time when you do it. So if you do this at about this level, it takes about, I want to say, a minute to a minute and 5 seconds in real time to go to this, hit him up, go back to the mark, fight them. Again, you don't need a preemptive strike, just go in Cerberus at this point. Kill the mark, come back, and there you go. You get a Moon Blossom Seed every time you beat them, so that's 6,000 CP for the fight, 6,000 gil guaranteed as the reward for the mission, and you can do that over and over again just to get as much out of that as you would like. So that one's a quick one. What about a slower one that gives larger rewards? Because I can imagine after a while doing this and going back and forth like that for a little bit would get a little bit brain dead feeling, and you might get a little bored. I can understand that. That's why I'm offering a second option. It requires more walking around, especially in the walk back portion, but the rewards, I think, compensate for it. That being said, in order to even think about the rewards, we're going to have to adjust our strategy just a little bit. And by adjust our strategy, I mean use the Hyades Magnums. Because it turns out, I kind of lied a little bit, just a little bit ago, to everybody. I mentioned that we were only going to do the first 34 missions. And that's technically not true. Because there's one more mission that I would like to do before we call it quits for Grand Pulse. And in order to do it, we have to go back to the Celia Springs, so that's where we're going to go. Mono's a liar, canceled. I mean, you already knew this. Y'all already heard me lie to you before, and you didn't cancel me previously. You're too late, Spider-Man. I've already lied to the internet. Guys need to be quicker on the draw. But yeah, so we're going to go pick up one last mission, and it's in the Celia Springs. We actually ran past it previously, and it was not active. However, now that we've gone to the Fault Warrens, all you have to do is enter the Fault Warrens. You don't have to do any missions in it. Just go into the Fault Warrens. See, I think you have to see the scene with Titan, though, so you can't just walk in and walk out without seeing Titan. Like, it has to activate the Seath Stones that are in there, if I remember correctly, and that's what trips this Seath Stone to be active. And it's a doozy, let me tell you. At this point, I could understand how you might be like, wait a minute, are you sure you're ready for this? I got it. Don't worry about it. I got it. There is going to be a lot going on very quickly in the fight that we're going to do, but I got it. Again, that being said, we have to run back through all the shambling corpses, though, in order to actually get to the Celia Springs so we can use the teleport stone, but we'll get there. It's fine. Won't take very long. So Saz, let's hit the legs. We'll do this one, and then I think once we do this one, I'll just demonstrate it. I might do a teeny tiny little bit of it. Like, I might go back and do the Mushisu fight a couple more times just to get a few Moon Blossom Seeds. I might do this fight that I'm going to show just like twice more, maybe. So maybe, like, do 3 of mission 24 and 3 of this next mission that I'm going to do total. And then I'll basically be ready to go back to Cocoon after that, so. And really, I don't need to do those, but it just kind of gives me a little buffer for Snow, so that way I know that he'll be pretty close to, well, not close, but it'll give him a little bit of extra CP to work with so that he's not as far behind as everybody else is in terms of their grids, because he's not even done with his first primary role at this point. Everybody else has basically done one, so... It's part of buying all that Saboteur stuff for him, and that Saboteur stuff for him is useful in the post-game. He's a pretty good Daze spammer in the post-game because his casting speed is so fast. I'd say he's a little better than Fang at it, although you do have to, like, you know, buy the extra Saboteur rolls for him to get him to, like, level 5 at it in order for him to really do it reliably, but that's neither here nor there. I would still say Saboteur is probably his best secondary role, though. Like, he has a really solid casting speed, so Synergist can also work because he'll get the buffs up quickly. Medic can also work because he'll get the cures up quickly. And I think he gets Curasa, like, in stage 9 of his Metacrystarium, so that's not terrible for him, especially if you have, like, the Fey Mark or something. But, yeah, I don't have that for him, so... See, Atomos came back here, though, so there you go. Do I want to enter from this side, or do I want to enter from the Palisades side? Because if I come in from this side, I'm going to have to fight a couple of things on the way through here. You know what? Let's go through the Palisades side, actually. Excuse me, Fang. Because that'll mean that we won't have to fight anything on the way there. We just have to sit through, well, another loading screen, but that's okay. I will show this teleport stone, though, because you use this teleport stone with the run back for a specific reason that I'll talk about in a minute. Because there is a run back for this one. The mark is in the Archeolt Steppe, and you have to come back to the Cilia Springs if you want to hit up the actual stone. So it's a long walk. It takes about, I timed it for myself, and it takes, if you do it quickly, like if you get to the point where you've got it down pretty well in terms of practice, and I mean, you just do it a few times, and you get it faster and faster the more you do it. It takes about 12 minutes to go from stone to teleporting to the steppe, to getting to the mark, to killing it, to going all the way back to the teleport stone in the steppe itself, to get back to Cilia Springs, and then getting back to the mission giver. It takes about 12 minutes total for that big circle that we're going to do. So you can do about 5 of these in an hour. And I gotta imagine that most people will be like, yeah, but I can do 60 of that other mission in an hour, so how, you know, is the reward that much better? I would say maybe. It really depends on what you need. The other mission gives you an equal amount of CP and gil. This mission gives you less CP, but more gil in an hour. So it depends on what you need more of. If you need more gil, this is probably the better of the 2 grinding methods to do. If you need more CP, it's probably easier to do mission 24 over and over again, especially if you have the growth egg, because then you're getting 12,000 CP per minute in real time. So that's, what, like 720,000 CP in an hour? I think I did the math right on that, because 12 times 6 is 72, so you just go up from there, right? So depending on the number of zeros. My math skills should be a little bit better now because I'm taking a chemistry class and math is necessary for it. So like, I should be a little better at doing the math on the fly because we don't get a calculator for the tests. So you got to do it by hand. All right, anyway, this is the other mission. It's mission 63. And again, I already see you looking at me. Mono, what the hell? This is the second to last mission in the entire game. Are you sure about this? Of course I'm sure. Who do you take me for? You have to kill an adamant tortoise, an adamant tortoise, which is the weaker of the 2. Adamantoises are the stronger of the 2 by a value of about 2 million HP. But there's a reason why we're doing this one. Let's read it out, shall we? I've been given the focus of eliminating a stampeding adamant tortoise in the eastern tors of the Archeolt Steppe. It seems someone enraged the beast by attacking its young, and the fal'Cie wish it dead. I understand the danger it poses, but is violence the only solution? I mean, I'd be enraged if someone attacked my child. It just seems so wrong. Oh, okay, well... Yeah, mission 33, you killed this adamant tortoise's child. So, nice job breaking it, hero. Alright, we made this mess. Let's go clean it up. Now, before you go clean up this mess, I would highly, highly recommend that you have at least 3 TP banked. If you don't have 3 TP, use an Ether Sol or fight a few enemies in order to get there. My recommendation for fighting the enemies is to just go to the other teleport stone on the other side of the Cilia Springs here. Let's make some adjustments, though, because we can actually fix our setup so that we have everything exactly the way that I want it for the actual fight that we're going to do. So we're going to have Fang primarily be the Saboteur. So actually this is fine because I want to start with this. So Sin Sav Rav, put that down here. This last paradigm that I'm going to put at the bottom here, it doesn't matter what you have Fang and Lightning doing, you only need Saz to be a Saboteur for it. So you can put whatever else you want down here, just as long as you have Saz being your Saboteur for that one. So there you go, that's the important part. And then do a Rav Sab Rav, and do, we want a second Devastation, right? Yeah, we want a second Devastation, so we're going to put that there. But I would recommend keeping an Aggression or a Relentless Assault? A Relentless Assault, actually, up here, because this allows you, Relentless Assault will allow you to fight the monsters that we're going to need to fight in the run back in order to get some extra TP back, because every time you do this mission, you're going to need 3 TP with this method, so just keep that in mind before you start doing it. You need the TP, so just, keep that in mind. As for what you need for accessories, I would recommend Whistlewind and Aurora Scarves for everybody, so maybe Whistlewind for your party leader, so that's what I'm going to give for Saz, and then Aurora for your party members. That's primarily just there to make sure that they attack right away when you're fighting the random battles. You don't really need too much else. I would, however, recommend that you give somebody, probably Fang in this case, because she's the support bot in this situation, the Collector's Catalog, and even the Connoisseur's Catalog if you have it. I really only care about the common drop, not the rare drop from this fight, so the Collector's Catalog is the only one that I really want to equip. And as for Saz, I think the Tetratic Tiara might be a good idea, just because the random battles, he has such little amounts of HP with the Hyades Magnums, the random battles can actually get him pretty close to death without the extra little bit of defense, so... But yeah, this is the bare minimum setup, I would say. Just, make sure you have the Hyades Magnums. About 1,700 strength is good. Whistlewind and Aurora Scarves for everybody. Get a Collector's Catalog in there. If you have the Growth Egg, stick that on somebody. This is why I wanted to leave all these empty slots, though, in accessories, because if you want the Connoisseur's Catalog, if you want the Growth Egg, whatever have you, you've got plenty of room to stick them on there. And this is all you really need. So maybe give Lightning the Connoisseur's Catalog, give Saz the Growth Egg, leave the Tetratic Tiara on him just for a little bit of extra defense, and that's it. Go to town. So, let's head to the other side of the springs. We'll fight a couple of monsters on the way. They shouldn't be too hard to kill at this point, especially with 1,700 strength and Flame Strike, since pretty much everything on the way through here is going to be weak to Flame Strike, so... Now, Saz's attacks have travel time, so if Fang launches the enemy, he might not actually hit them if he shoots at them when they're in the ground, or on the ground. So just keep that in mind. If they're going to launch him, let them launch him and then start attacking. So another nice little thing about this, it's mostly a little bonus basically, but the ineffable fluids that you get from doing the run back that we're going to do here from the Ceratosaurs and Ceratoraptors, that will actually sell for 110 gil each, and you get a lot of them with the Collector's Catalog on. So just keep that in mind. And that should make it a little bit easier in terms of your wallet. Like, your wallet should have a little bit of extra room. Well, not room in it. It should be a little bit fuller from all of the stuff that you're going to get for that. So, there you go. And I guess the Vigilance on the Tetratic Tiara is nice as well, because then I don't flinch when they whiplash me with their tails. The 4-star I don't really care about. It's fine. Oh, a Deceptisol. Thanks. That isn't affected by the Collector's Catalog. That would be affected by the Survivalist Catalog if you have it, but I don't know. Usually if I have a Survivalist Catalog, I just dismantle it because the drop rates on Deceptisol, Fortisol, and Aegisol at this point are so low that I really don't care about the little bit of extra chance, If I need them, I'll just, I don't know, work with what I've got, I guess. So, all right. So, that was like half the run back that I just did there, but I'll show you the rest of it in just a moment. We're going to teleport from here to the northern high plain on the Archeolt Steppe. And we're actually going to do that fight with the Behemoth King and the Magistatherian as well, because it's in our way. So we're going to go do this. By the way, like I said, this is a bare minimum setup. You also don't need any aerosols for this. So if you don't have any Fortisol, if you don't have any Aegisol, you can't use Deceptisol on Ortoises. They can't be preemptive struck. So don't worry about that part. But if you don't have the other stuff, you don't need it. So for this setup, you'll be able to do this without any other stuff. Just as long as you have about 1700 strength, the high 80s magnums, which I showed how to do, how to get to that point, you should be good. It's like an end of chapter 9 type of a deal, but okay, why are you both attacking him? Okay, it doesn't matter, he's dead. That's the important part. I wasn't sure if we were going to kill him just there, but this is fine.
Wisdom does come with age.
As do very, very powerful guns, apparently. So you get a little bit of extra CP from fighting these little fights in order to recharge your TP, but they're not the main draw here, right? The main draw is up the hill here. And the way that I do it is I grab this chocobo right here, and if it detects anything, like it's going to dig stuff up, obviously that cuts into the 12 minutes that I was talking about, but I mean, it's pretty worth it to dig this stuff up because, hey, that's extra money in your pocket, you know? So, at least I think it's worth it to dig stuff up, so. And of course, it depends on what the chocobo digs up, obviously. Like if you get a chocobo tail feather or plume, it's not really worth much at all, but you might get something else, so.
What do we got here?
Like some gold dust. See? There you go. That's worth it. Sorry, buddy. You can preen after. I just want to make sure we're a little short on time here. I'm already over 3 hours. So, I'll make sure we get this done today. By the way, before this, I was mentioning, like, back when we did the original digging around the steppe, where we found the first 15 treasures, I mentioned that you had to soft reset, basically, in order to get the chocobo treasures to reset. As far as I'm aware, now that we're done with chapter 11, other than leaving the chapter in order to go to chapter 12, as far as I'm aware now, every time you leave the steppe and come back, like if you teleport somewhere else and then you come back, the chocobo treasures will reset. So there will be 5 new treasures for you to dig up every single time. So when you get to this part, kind of aim for Titan in the background, because that way you go around the cactuar over there, but you're aiming for the back of this adamantiolate here, because there's a little plateau behind him that you can hop up, and then you can use this plateau as a platform, effectively, to hop all the way across this gap over here, and end up right there where our mark is waiting for us. So there you go. Hop down here, see if there's anything over here. If there is anything to the left there behind this adamant tortoise, you'd see it right now. The exclamation point would already be up on the map, so yeah. And then from here, dismount. And this is where the fun begins. If you've never seen a speed kill of an adamant tortoise before, hello, welcome. My name is Monochromium, and I am about to become a cold-blooded killer. Sorry, Mom. I know this isn't what you wanted from your son, but it's just what has to happen now. Alright, here we go. Again, come into this fight with 3 TP, or you are screwed. So, first things first, we're in Sin Sab Rav to start the fight. Summon immediately. Normally, you have to take out 2 legs in order to get this tortoise. But while this tortoise has 2 legs, we have a Brunhilde. Now, things are going to go pretty quickly from here. I'll try to explain everything as they go. It's not going to be easy to follow, but I'll try. So, summoning actually staggers both of the legs and prevents them from being a problem. Get haste up on Saz, immediately go into Saboteur. Try to get Imperil up if possible. We're going to do 5 rounds of Saboteur attacks here. The Tetratic Tiaras will run out, but that's okay. Okay, we got Imperil already. Good. Get D-Protect and D-Shell if you get Imperil. you're kind of just building up the gauge, but you don't actually need to use Gestalt mode with Brunhilde, and Brunhilde is mostly just helping you get this thing staggered faster. Okay, if you get all 3 debuffs up before the 5 rounds, it's okay. Just keep doing the 5 rounds. I would use Imperil again because that's the first one you're going to get up, so that way you just kind of refresh it, you know. What you're going to do is, at this point, you should be at almost 5,000 SP on Brunhilde's gauge. Wait for the 5th swing of Saz's hand, get him back in Gorilla. Then, give him Bravery and Infire so that he can take advantage of the Imperil. Then use Infire and Faith on Brunhilde. Brunhilde's going to leave the battlefield in a second because she's out of SP, but by doing this, we can repeat this action once Fang and Lightning return to the battlefield to give them Infire and Faith to take advantage of the Imperil. So now they will continue the stagger and finish the stagger off while you get the buffs up. Once you get Infire and Faith, get haste on Fang, get haste on Lightning, and then that's where the real fun begins. Because we're going to switch to Smart Bomb now, and we're going to load the gun! Wait, hold on. No, load the gun. There we go. Then switch once you see Saz start shooting. When you go to Commando, you increase the damage you'll deal with Cold Blood, and you'll deal 18 hits. Then load up 2 blitzes and just start going. When Fang gets Daze Up on the enemy, it will absolutely shred this thing's HP. Just completely shred the HP. And then we have 2 Devastations so that way we can switch to it and quickly finish it off. So that's the plan, and GG.
Should see your daddy now.
And that's how you kill an Adamant Tortoise at a low level. Congratulations, you've completed the game. Because if you can do this, you can kill everything else in the entire video game. Granted, you need more HP to kill everything else in the entire video game, but if you're able to do that, and that's highly technical, that requires a little bit of practice to get right. But if you can do that, you can kill everything else in this game. Guaranteed. Take my word for it. Don't take my word for it. Do this. Get yourself some CP. Get yourself a Platinum Ingot. This is the common drop, by the way. This is not guaranteed. This is what everybody wants, though, when they're fighting Adamantoises out on the steppe. Because Platinum Ingots, I still have the luck from the stupid friggin' Constitution gem from Skies of Arcadia, because Platinum Ingots sell for 150,000 gil. And to top off the 40,000 CP that you just got from that thing, well, the first time you beat this, you get a Genji Glove, which is one of 3 Genji Gloves that you get in the entire game. You get the rank of Adamantine Crusader, which is going to be our final rank. The Genji Glove, I'll show you what it does in a minute. But every subsequent time you complete this mission, you get a guaranteed gold nugget, which sells for 60,000 gil. So if you get lucky, and I get lucky about once an hour with the Collector's Catalog on, it's about a 28% drop rate on the Platinum Ingot, so about once an hour, you'll get 210,000 gil from that one single mission in 12 minutes worth of work. And that's nuts! It's only 40,000 CP, so again, you'll get a little bit more CP out of the Mushisu fight because you can do that once a minute, but still, I like this one because it's like, it gives you a guaranteed reward, but it still gives you that little rush of dopamine if you get a Platinum Ingot, you know what I mean? So, now kill Longui. No, thank you. It's the same principle, though, because the Longui can be staggered off of his feet with a summon. So, if you want to kill a Longui, you can use that exact same strategy. However, the Longui has more HP. He has like 15 million HP. So you'll need to do that about 3 times. So I hope you have 2 elixirs, because if you don't, you're dead. So, yeah, not really happening at the moment, especially since we need to do all those Circle of Seathstone missions in order to even get the Longui to spawn. I personally think the Shao Longui is the harder of the 2 enemies, because you can't just knock him off his feet and kill him with no damage, whereas the Longuis, you can, so. Okay, so the Genji Glove, I didn't explain this one. So the Genji Glove uncaps your damage. Normally the damage limit is 99,999, which we were hitting several times with that Adamant Tortoise with Blitz because of all of the damage buffs that we had sitting on there. But this uncaps it and allows you to do a maximum of 999,999 damage to an enemy. We can't hit for those kinds of numbers right now, but in the post-game, those numbers... well, they're actually still pretty hard to get, honestly, unless you're, like, really powerful. So, excuse me. That being said, if you have a bunch of components, you can actually star the Genji Glove, and if you don't need it, you can dismantle it for a trapezohedron, which is used to upgrade weapons from Tier 2 to Tier 3. I'm going to do that. I don't need the trapezohedron, but I also don't need the Genji Glove, so I'm just gonna dismantle it. I know that's a terrible thing to do, because like, why would you do that? This is the easiest Genji Glove that you can get in the entire game. The other two that you need to get are like, you need to kill Atticus for it, which is the entirety of the Fault Warrens. He's the final boss of it. And I don't even remember where you get the other Genji Glove at this point, honestly. I'd have to look it up, but yeah, no. I will never need the Genji Glove, because I don't know if I'm ever going to use Fang and Snow as party leaders again for the rest of the game, so I don't think I need it. I really, mainly, I use the Genji Glove on Fang, Snow, or Vanille, because Death, High Wind, and Sovereign Fist deal so much damage that uncapping it only makes them deal significantly more. Death, by the way, if it doesn't kill an enemy, it still deals a very large amount of damage. It's just not affected by damage bonuses because it's a Saboteur skill. But you can do the same thing that I just did with Cold Blood, where you switch to Commando, and that will maximize the damage that you do with Death every single time. So there you go. Use it on Fang. Yeah, she could use it. It would probably work pretty well. It's just, we'd take a hit to... Oh, no, you mean the Genji Glove. Yeah, use the Genji Glove on Fang. Yes, that's a good idea. Definitely use it on her, because obviously it will give her a significant amount of damage. And that's another way, actually, you can kill an Adamant Tortoise, is if you have Fang use High Wind on the legs once you stagger them. It will probably just destroy them in one hit, and then you can just kill the actual monster. I don't think we're quite strong enough for that, though, so I decided we'll just use the TP strategy. Now, the problem, of course, with the TP strategy is you need TP in order to do it. Now, we have a couple of, whatchamacallits, we have a couple of aerosols, we have a couple of ether sols that we can use to get our TP back, but let's say you don't have ether sols, what do you do then? Well, if you need to take a break, here's the save point that you can use in the middle of the run back, but here's the run back. This is the part that takes the longest out of this whole thing. I'd recommend just hugging the wall here. I wouldn't fight the Amphisbena. You probably could, but he doesn't give enough TP to really be worth it. I also probably wouldn't... Well, maybe you could fight the Gorgonopsids over here in order to get a little bit of extra TP. I don't know, though, because I think they're resistant to both fire and thunder, so Saz probably isn't the best person for that, and you're going to want to switch over to that Relentless Assault that we have here, so that way you can get the TP back a little easier. So. I mean, High Wind will... yeah, High Wind will massacre things with the Genji Glove on. Absolutely, that's for sure. So... maybe that Magistetherian and Gorgonopsid fight wouldn't be bad, because Saz can use Flame Strike on the Magistetherian and it will deal good damage, so... Now, I'm going to avoid the Cactuar for now, but based on the way that I've done this in the past, sometimes you won't have enough TP if you don't kill this Cactuar by the time you get back to fighting the actual Adamant Tortoise again. If you go and do the run back all the way to Cilia Springs, go to the Cilia Springs Teleport Stone specifically, by the way, because then you can fight all of those Ceratosaurs on the way back. You're going to fight this fight anyway, because they're kind of in the way, and, I mean, they're worth a decent chunk of CP, so you may as well, right? So, okay, quickly, Says, quickly. Thank you. But either way, honestly, I probably could just use Aggression here as well, but, this works. Then I can Flame Strike the Ceratosaurs. I'm thinking, though, there are a bunch of Ceratosaurs on the side platforms that you could fight, so I guess you could just go fight them if you want to get some extra CP together. Or you could go into the Hallway of Power in Mahabara over here, although that probably takes a little longer, because then you have to come back here in order to teleport to Cilia, so... But yeah, generally speaking, you just do this, go back to Cilia Springs, and then from there, just run all the way back through the cave. I would not recommend fighting the enemies that are on the islands there, the Orobons and the Ceratoraptors, because that fight still takes forever, even though we're in Stage 9 at this point, so I wouldn't actually recommend fighting those. They're just, it's too much work, if I'm honest. So, either way, run around the ladies here, head back into the cave. There's another save point if you need to call it quits for this one, take a breather. So again, I tried to make sure that the missions that I have here for the grinding methods I recommend also have save points in case you ever need to take a break. So, and this one has multiple save points along the route. So I still wouldn't recommend fighting that one. If you want to fight Orobons, don't worry. We'll see some more when we go back to Cocoon. How did they get there? Well, we'll find out, but not yet. Anyway, fight the Ceratosaurs up here for sure because there's a ton of them, and the more enemies there are in the actual fight, the more of them you can actually get, like the more TP that you can actually get from fighting. So I'm gonna wait, actually, let them kill the one, and then I can go after the other ones. So. And we'll probably get 4 stars for this one. If you get a preemptive strike on these guys, though, you'll probably get a 5-star ranking on this. And I think preemptive strikes actually increase your TP that you get as well. Oh, wow, 3 stars. That's not great. But yeah, if you need to fight something else in order to get the TP, you could always go up here and fight some stuff up there. There's some Orobons. I don't really like fighting Orobons as part of this. There is also an Orobon and 3 Ceratosaurs over here, but it takes a little longer to fight them because the Orobons you might use something to daze you, which is a little bit problematic, but the Ceratoraptor shouldn't be too hard to fight, though. So yeah, like I said, wait for Fang to launch them before you take a shot, and then there you go. Yeah, see, we've almost got up to the TP that we need. So I'm going to say we'll probably get that just from fighting the Behemoth King Magistotherian fight again, which we'll have to fight on the way out of here. But then you come back here, you get this again, and you can continuously murder this poor Adamantortus in order to get a chance at a Platinum Ingot and, well, 40,000 CP and 60,000 gil every single time. I'm going to do this one more time just to show the whole thing again without me talking over it like a jackass. I'll probably still talk a little bit, but this way you can just watch me do it rather than trying to listen intently to what I'm saying about it. And then, obviously, it would be easier if you've seen me do it twice, then you might be able to repeat it for yourself, and then you can do this method in order to get a bunch of money together. I didn't really see a whole lot of people talking about this as a good method of grinding money, and CP, but I timed it out, and honestly, like, you get, I think it's like 384,000 gil and CP if you can do the Mission 24 grind 1 time per minute. No, actually, that was later in Stage 9, if I remember correctly. That was like, you could do it in about 55 seconds. So you'd do it like 64 times in an hour, and that got you the 384,000 gil and CP without the growth egg, which is a substantial amount. Doing this gets you 200,000 CP and a guaranteed 300,000 gil once, in 1 hour, with a chance of getting a platinum ingot so that you can get extra gil. So again, this is the better method if you need gil. If you need CP, I'd recommend doing the Mission 24 grind instead. So then, as part of the run back, teleport back to the Northern High Plain, fight these guys again, and the reason why we want to fight them is not just for the meme, because this is just a meme fight that you can do in 20 seconds, but also because of the fact that it gets you a decent chunk of TP, because you just sort of can kill them very quickly, unless this guy, unless he stands up. But at this point, even at a fairly bare minimum amount of Stage 9 upgrading, well, maybe it's not bare minimum, but not much Stage 9 upgrading, we can kill these guys without too much trouble, and that will push us just over the threshold. Very good. Enjoy the rest of the stream, all watchers. Yep, I'll be done in just a few minutes. I'm just putzing around demonstrating this to show the gold nugget, and then I will be done. But I'll see you on the next one, Marie. We'll be back tomorrow to work on Chapter 12. But yeah, as you can see, the Chocobo has respawned its treasure. So sorry guys, you can preen later. We're already running, I said before we're running low on time, but I'm running it even further up. It's like 10:15 right now, but like I said, I just want to make sure I show all of this before we go here. All right, it's over here. Ooh, got a good one. What'd we get? Plush Chocobo? Plush Chocobo. That's worth 35,000 gil. Oh, the luck continues. Now, if I get another platinum ingot though from this one, I gotta stop. I gotta quit. Like I gotta end it for the night. I'm too powerful. The luck is too high. But yeah, no, like I said, I usually get like about 1 platinum ingot an hour, so it's like 1 every 5 fights, which is about right. It's like a 28% chance of getting it with the collector's catalog and a 5-star ranking, so it's not especially high, but between all the other stuff that you can get from the chocobo digging while you're running around here, it's a pretty decent chunk of money you'll get out of the whole thing, so. Just make sure that you remember to switch off of Relentless Assault when you when you get to this point, because if you don't, you're probably going to have to retry the fight, because starting in Relentless Assault means you'll have to switch to Gorilla, they'll have to spend the 3 seconds doing their anime poses, and when this guy stomps, Saz will die. At this point, the stomp probably does all of Saz's HP and damage, and... excuse me, this gal, who is bellowing, but we can't hear them. It's probably for the best, because it would probably be ear-piercing. Don't really want that. Alright, so the entire unfettered method, once again, for all of you to see. Did it pretty good last time. Let's see if we do it well this time.
I summon.
Still can't get enough of that voice line. And if you want to do this a little faster, you could always skip the summon animation. I believe it's the circle button, but I don't really care that much. I didn't mention it before, but when you see the red show up underneath Saz's feet, or the little clock thing show up on Saz's person, that's when you want to switch over to your Saboteur paradigm. So. And if you don't get imperiled the first time, don't stress or fret. Like, just keep using it. That's the most important thing to get up on this guy. If you only get imperiled, that's really the only thing you need. Fang can get the rest. As a matter of fact, Fang can do all of it because she has access to all of the debuffs that Saz has, as well as her own. So she'll get like slow and curse and then daze on it. So yeah, if you don't get it up, don't worry about it. Just keep moving. You need to do this quickly, because once you and basically the adamant tortoise will stay on the ground for, I believe it's between 55 and 60 seconds once you get it down. However, as long as Brunhilde is on the field, that timer is paused. So once Brunhilde leaves, that's when you need to start hurrying, because after that point, you're on a timer. If you can't beat the thing before it stands up again, you're probably cooked. So, alright, load the gun, Saz. But yeah, as you can see, Fang's got all the other debuffs on it already. She'll get Daze up, so we can deal massive amounts of damage. The damage that you do while Daze is up is for 0.5 seconds after Daze is inflicted. Any damage done in that window is increased by 50%. So, like that. And GG again. So this is mostly just to show. By the way, the reason why I use in Fire instead of, say, in Frost or something like that is because I find that the other end spells that you can use, it causes like a white flash to happen every time the enemy takes damage, whereas with Fire, it's like an orange flash. The orange flash, I think, is a little easier on the eyes. With Frost up, it's like photosensitivity nightmare, so yeah, not really something that you want. So. And again, just to show it, there you go. You beat the mission the second time. Here's 60,000 gil for you. Congratulations, you have won the game. And honestly, at this point, like, if you had that diamond bangle still from Tajin's Tower for Saz, you could start working like on this mission for several hours. Probably if you did this mission over and over again for about 6 hours. And that's a lot, but for about 6 hours, you could get all of the materials you need in order to upgrade the diamond bangle up to an adamant bangle, and then all the way from there to a Wurtzite bangle, and upgrading that to star level. It costs about 2 million gil to go through that whole agonizing process, but you could do it, and then Saz would be able to use the Hyades magnums as his primary weapon. The reason why I'm not doing it is because Saz is actually going to need a different accessory than the Wurtzite bangle in his first slot for the final boss fight when he's party leader for the final boss fight, and I'm going to have the General's Belt and Witch's Bracelet there anyway because there's physical and magical attacks in the final boss fight, so can't really use the Wurtzite bangle. We need the other one for safety instead. So since that's more of a post-game thing, I figure I'll just show you this now so you can do it if you want, but then we won't use it ourselves until the post game. So, excuse me. Anyway, we've ran on long enough. I'll do that fight one more time, and then I'll go fight the Mushisu. Maybe I'll fight it 4 more times, the Mushisu, just to get an even number of CP, like 30,000. That seems like a nice, good number, right? And then I will meet you back at the final save point in Erba, so we can finally go back to Cocoon and confront Bartandalus eventually, when we find him, probably in Eden. And probably also not on the next episode of Final Fantasy XIII, the Stream Edition, which will be happening tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'll just call it a day, Lightning. We've done enough. Thank you for watching, everybody. I appreciate you coming out to Twitch and YouTube to check out the stream. And I'll see all of you on the next one, which, as I said, will be tomorrow, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Until then, everybody, take care and have a good one. You know, it occurs to me, we've killed the kid. We've killed the mom. I really hope the dad doesn't show up.